podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 144 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm your host, Sik Mechanico, and I'm joined, as usual, by Special Nick.
What's going on?
Full of the oeuvre of life.
No.
Nick. No.
I was very tired thanks to that being woken up for a meeting at 8 a.m. That never happened.
Look,
or did happen late.
Yeah, it was very
thanks
rushed.
to good old Deadeye's.
Hey, don't
Deadeye's
secrets.
I'm not saying anything.
I want to see if anyone twigs. What's going on. Hey everyone in the chat. Hi Jesse in the background doing all the things. How you doing? You're muted. I never get to say that. I loved saying that right then.
That's weird. I didn't press it. I pressed the friggin' thing on my Stream Deck. Excuse me. We have a lot of games coming next week, so keep an eye on the site. There's way too many reviews and co-streams and whatnot.
Oh, the show! Finally, a show about some stuff and some games next week. Looking forward to it.
And if you go to drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra and use that code and get yourself some delicious control to drink while you watch the developer_direct.
That's a very good idea. Yeah. I'd recommend it. I hope everyone's well. It's been a week. It's been a difficult week, I think, for a lot of real people out there for a lot of real reasons, right? So we'll get into it. But before we do, been playing any video games, Nick?
No. Got back from Sydney. What day is it today? Sunday for me. I got back from Sydney Thursday night and virtually haven't stopped since then. Had other stuff to do and attend and all that sort of thing. So haven't had a chance. I had like a late night full-on Rocket League session the other night, but that's basic. Oh, sorry. No, I'm lying. Just yesterday, I started Kena. I've always pronounced it Kena. Kena. It was on sale for $30 Australian, the digital deluxe version. So I'm like, I may as well speed up the process of it coming to Xbox because as soon as I buy it on PlayStation, it'll probably get announced for Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm like, $30, bought it. Beautiful game. You could tell that from the start. Playing it, and so hopefully no one takes this the wrong way because sometimes fanboys get very upset very easily. And I say this with the utmost respect, and I say this in the most positive way possible about Kena. Kena is if Rare made a Zelda game back in 2003. And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way because I loved Star Fox Adventures from Rare. I was one of the people that loved Star Fox Adventures. Kena is a Zelda game made by Rare in the early 2000s. It's of that era, but it is I say that in a good way because I like those games.
Yeah.
The art style feels almost Rare, like. For anyone who's played Star Fox Adventures, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you enjoyed Star Fox Adventures, I think you will also enjoy Kena. I've put a couple of hours in so far because I only just bought it yesterday. And yeah, it's your standard, hey, you can't get to this path yet. Go and do this thing and collect these giblets and get these
Giblets?
powers. And
How delightful.
It's your standard. They're called rot. The little characters, those little cute black furry characters are called rot, which is not a nice name. I don't know why they called them that, but they're very cute little characters. You can see them in the footage that Jesse's showing. They're super cute, and they give them this gross name, which is rot. And they can do stuff for you, and I don't mind it. Some might find it, I don't know, a bit stock standard or boring or whatever. That's the sort of stuff I've always liked. Like I said, I immediately thought of Star Fox Adventures, which I liked a lot.
Nice.
So yeah, so I thought I hadn't been playing anything, and then I remembered at the last second that I have been playing Kana.
Well,
I
haven't been playing too much. I bought the DLC for Escape Academy, which was in my top 10 games of the year. It's really fun co-op, so I played a couple of missions of that, so I'll finish that off. But it's like a whole new little island full of levels, which is nice. And it's only $7.99, I think, for the DLC or something like that with Game Pass membership. So worth a punt if you enjoyed all of the cooperative shenanigans of Escape Academy. And funnily enough, last night I jumped on to play some ranked Halo, right? And I know there's plenty of Halo stuff to talk about today, right? So we won't use this as a tangent because that's a long conversation. But there is something that really bugs me, and I don't like, normally I've been able to jump on and I play with 3 other friends and we play as a 4 together and we do our 10 matches. But in this occasion, I'd missed out. So I had played 3 matches, my mate had played 8, and someone else had played 9. And as soon as he'd finished his 10th match, oh, I'm sorry, you can't play anymore together until you've all got a rank, which I think is the most dumb mechanical decision ever. So to prevent boosting or whatever the case may be, and I understand it from a boosting point of view, but in a game where the population is this freaking low, it's a really boneheaded decision. Oh, I can't play with my friends now. Well, screw you. So I had to go off by myself.
Why games do that? Like, and it's not just a Halo thing. Most multiplayer games do it. They make these bizarre decisions based on this idea that they think they're going to be COD and have these massive populations that they can afford to do these sorts of things. It's like, no, you can't. Make your decisions based on the assumption that you'll have no population. And if you get big, implement that other stuff later.
Yeah.
Don't assume you're going to be big and make decisions that turns people off, and then after 6 months be like, oh,
honestly,
gotta shut our game down. I
get playing 10 matches to assign a rank to you. I get that element, right? But the simple solution to me to prevent boosting accounts is you have to have played 100 games. I'm just picking a number out of thin air, 100 games before you can go into a ranked playlist. To dissuade people, well, I'm just going to boost. Because 100 games is an investment of time just to go and smurf on new accounts for 10 matches. And then, I'm on Onyx again. Time to start from the beginning. I've got to go play another 100 matches of Halo before I can even get into that would prevent people doing that, in my opinion, because my time is more valuable to me. I don't know how much people like stomping on other people. But anyway, that was annoyance number 1. But then a positive thing happened. We jumped on as a 4 to do that again. Now we all had ranks last night. And something different happened. 12 people from our friendship group from back in the day of 2007 were on. This was like at 11 p.m. at night. And then suddenly we were playing 12v12 BTB. We had a full team. Just the dong train was just rolling. We were just unstoppable. It was brilliant. And it was the most fun I've had in Halo, like socially, since probably Halo 3. It was a really good night of just constant wins and fun and shenanigans. So yeah, the magic of Halo for me is still there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week. It's been a horrible work week for me. And I've got to go into London on Monday. And I've probably got to do some more work tomorrow. It's just real life, man. Real life. It's a hard gig. One other piece of technology I've been playing with, and I'm intrigued to see if anyone's noticed anything. There's been some hints. Is I downloaded nVIDIA Broadcast, and I've been experimenting with their eye contact beta app, which is on right now, and I'm not even looking at the camera. How freaky is that, chat? I'm not even looking at you, and yet you can see into my cold, dead fish-like eyes. Chat, let me know if you think that this was obvious that I was using some form of artificial AI to increase engagement with the audience, or if it was completely unknown and it just looked like I was looking at you. Scary stuff, hey? Modern technology. But while you're there, chat, hit like on that. It's very cool. I mean, I would definitely use it for narrating YouTube videos, right? Because there's nothing worse than reading a script in front of you and you're constantly either trying to read it and look natural. But this, I could literally read it and I'm just looking at you, looking into your soul. Anyway, it made me laugh. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. Give it a try if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card. You can download the NVIDIA, I can't remember what it's called, NVIDIA Control Panel or Broadcast.
Yeah,
NVIDIA
right.
Broadcast. That's what it's called.
I'm on a Mac, so I'm shit out of luck. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I would intersperse it with gameplay footage of Mill. But yes, I thought initially, and let's see how it works for this podcast, right? Because it's very cool. If I look away, like you can see, like, look, there's my eyes not really looking.
Yeah.
And then
All
suddenly
of a sudden it just flicks back. It's like it flicks. It's just
weird. It's very, very weird. Anyway, fun. Oh, man. Okay, let's get into the news of the week because, whoo, boy.
Yeah. Ended up being a big week.
It's very drama.
I don't know which order you want to do that in, but
man,
it's up to you.
Let's talk about. I know what I want to talk about first, so let's talk about this. Phil Spencer, he won an award this week.
Yes, he did.
Good for you, Phil.
What was that award again? Was it like a lifetime?
It was something. It was something like that. At the New York Game Awards. Yes. Now, there was an interesting bit of speech in there where it sounded like he was complaining against cancel culture,
canceling and toxicity sort of thing. Yeah.
And it was a bit of it was not, perhaps not his most eloquent speech, I think is probably fair to say. But I saw a bit of uproar on there. But what was particularly bad about it was the timing more than anything else. While Phil was out in New York collecting an award, lots and lots of developers were being laid off or being planned to be laid off a day or two later. And it's a bit depressing. Now, the email did leak. I'm not sure if you read the email that Phil sent out, and then we'll talk through some of the layoff discussion. But the email was, it was. I've read a few emails like that in my time. It wasn't anything too surprising, but the email itself was. Let's have a look here. This has been a difficult week across Microsoft. And I guess for the audience, if you've been sleeping under a rock, Microsoft laid off 10,000 employees this week. Google, I think, laid off 12,000.
It's even worse. They haven't actually laid them off. They're in the process of laying them off.
Yes, that's right. I was just about to say.
More to come.
They just laid them all off.
You get to worry.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't just lay them all off bang overnight. It's like a staggered
thing all the way up till the end of March.
Yeah, it's going to happen over a period of time.
But from a game studio point of view, we've got layoffs at 343, the Coalition, and ZeniMax. Bethesda
Was there the
Game
Coalition
Studios.
as well?
Apparently so, yes.
I didn't know there was. I knew there was Bethesda and there was 343, but Coalition I didn't realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Are we still going to talk about Phil's award, or are we skipping over?
I was just going to read his letter because it was just a nice segue.
Yeah.
Right? Phil wins an award, but at the same time, a couple of days later, he had to send out this letter. And I'll read it out in full, right? So Phil Spencer wrote internally to employees at Microsoft that remained, at least for the time being, this has been a difficult week across Microsoft and here inside our teams. Now that many of the one-to-one and team conversations have happened, I want to take a moment to reiterate the message that you've heard from your leaders. This is a challenging moment in our business, and this week's actions were painful choices. The gaming leadership team, it's so weird to see a team called the GLT. Like, I'm used to the SLT from my business perspective, the senior leadership team, but the gaming leadership team, they sound fun. They had to make decisions that we felt set us up for the long-term success of our products and business. But the individual results of those decisions are real. Hey, look at this NVIDIA eye contact, right? I'm reading, and yet, thank you for supporting our colleagues as they process these changes. Over the coming weeks, we'll have many opportunities to connect and answer your questions, including the monthly gaming update next week for teams who attend that meeting. What a way to overshadow your first positive moment of the year after no showing the Game Awards. Man, it's so painful. For those who attend that meeting, and I am in close contact with teams at ZeniMax to provide support. The GLT and I are committed to being as transparent as we can. Moving forward with ambiguity is challenging, but I'm confident together we will get through this difficult moment in time. Xbox has a long history of success thanks to the work you do in service of players, creators, and each other. Your work is so deeply appreciated and valued in these times of change and is integral to our business momentum. I'm confident in our future and proud to be a part of this team, but also conscious that this is a challenging time, and I want to thank you for everything you do here, Phil. So that's what Phil wrote to everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pretty standard stock stuff if you've ever been on the receiving end or have heard of mass layoffs and you've been working at a company before. I've been there. It's not fun. My heart goes out to all the developers.
That whole period, there was a whole period of a few days that were weird because there was the New York Game Awards, and we saw, like I was seeing tweets from the Iron Lords where they were there and they were taking photos with Phil and Todd. And it's funny, it must be Todd Howard. Every photo I saw with Todd Howard, he looked so CBF to be there that it was absolutely crazy. Like his face, his face was just, oh my God, just hurry up and take this photo. I want to get out of here. Like, and I'm sure it wasn't intentional. I'm sure it's, that's why I said, I'm sure it's just a Todd Howard thing. And that's how he always looks, where Phil was a bit more smiley and getting into the pictures, where Todd was just like, again, the look on his face was like, please let me out of here. Like, I don't want to be here. Starfield needs to ship soon. I can't be waiting.
He's holding a gun into my back. Please stop
that one there, that first one's probably the smiliest one that I've seen. All the others that I've seen are like full CBF. Like, it's just, yeah. And then that story came out that all the Microsoft leadership and execs had some special dinner and they had Sting perform. And
I've heard about this, yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's Davos, but you're only at Davos if you're already evil. So, like, we know these companies are bad. You only go to Davos.
I don't know what Davos is. I have no idea what Davos is.
It's where all the rich people on the planet pretty much set up how they're going to try and keep getting more and more rich.
And I think that's the other upsetting thing, right? I can't remember the exact figure, but I think Satya Nadella's bonus was 55 million.
Yeah, I know.
This year. You're telling me that all of those employees had to go? You could take 27 million?
Yeah, 20? You couldn't just be like, you know what, guys? I'm already a multi-millionaire. I don't need another $55 million bonus. Maybe we'll just keep all those stuff and put it towards
especially right now in a recession.
Like,
and this is the thing, though, when you're beholden, and this is capitalism at its finest, folks, when you're beholden to shareholders,
shit.
Like, he can't think about what's best for, me or you or people. What's best to make my shareholders happy?
Oh, the whole stock market, the whole share market, stock market's like one of the worst things to ever happen to the planet. It's like the worst thing because it's just because in the end, I see people use this shit for console wars and all that. This is all ultimately for shareholders. That's it. Isn't January like a very common time for big tech companies to just shed jobs like every year?
I think the last time to this degree for Microsoft
not
specifically,
to this degree. No, I'm not
was
saying every year they
2014.
do 10,000. I'm not saying they do 10,000 every year, but
possibly a lot of companies have end of year as actual end of year. Some companies have end of year financially in April.
Yeah.
But yes, generally there would be a what's our new strategy? What's our new North Star we're going for this year or over the next 2 years or 5 years? A lot of companies, and certainly if you work in any of the industries that I'm aligned to, talk about digital transformation a lot. It's a proper buzzwordy, annoying catchphrase where they're talking about, using phrases like that. And honestly, it makes me want to crawl up and die. But North Star and all of that stuff, it's cringy, but it's a thing that is taken very, very seriously about like, okay, strategically, what are we going to go and do? How are we going to get there? Well, how are we going to achieve it? How much money do we need to make? How much money can we save to get our EBITDA working the way we want it to show our shareholders that we're this valuable and this profitable, and all of that crap culminates in, oh yeah, well, we've got to lose 10,000 jobs. And that's what they do. It's gutting and it's brutal, and my heart goes out to all of the developers affected by it. We've seen some of the
COVID have a lot
stories.
to do with it in terms of they took on a lot more
during
COVID, so they're shedding a lot of what they took on. Or
they added about 80,000 people in the last few years, and so now they're shedding about 10 because demand during COVID was way up for tech industry with everyone being home and using tech way more. And now demand is going down because people are going out again and doing other things, and there's a recession on, so people are spending less. So they are shedding in areas where they don't think they're going to get immediate benefit.
Yeah, and if we speak about like the entire virtual reality division at Microsoft, I think got the boot today.
Mixed reality, AR, VR,
they're gone. Of the whole team, right?
So
I think
that means effectively that program is dead. Yes, effectively.
No idea, but it's certainly not going to be doing anything new and shiny soon, right? I think there's a number of large salesy type of people probably have got the boot as they focus on their core businesses, right? It's demoralizing, right? But Amazon, they did I think 12,000 or 18,000. Amazon did 18,000.
Amazon's done 2, so they've done like an unbelievably large amount.
Google
in the
12
last month or 2.
Yeah, Meta did 13,000, I think.
Twitter last year did a bunch.
Twitter wasn't really, Twitter was just a crazy shit show. But look,
it's a lot. That's a lot of people in the space of 3 or 4 months to just be jobless, just gone. That's that's
madness. And what's crazy, 10,000 people, that's 5% of Microsoft's global workforce. They're around 222,000, I think, this year or last year. But yes, so horrible time. I know some people personally that were affected by this, right? There's a lot to talk about, I think. And I think that we can't move on from this topic without specifically talking about and addressing everything we heard bubbling out of 343 Industries, right? Lost some key talent there. And it's an interesting one. Like, I've seen people, these same people that were typing Fire 343 in chats in October of last year are suddenly, oh, what are you doing? But we've heard upwards of 130 odd people from key positions. Like, a lot of the art team are gone. It looks like it's all based to common reports around the single player and campaign development side of the business. So artists, pre-production folks, things of that nature. Pierre Hines, I think his name is, or Hines, is the new head of the studio. After lots and lots and lots of noise over the last 2 or 3 days, with people honestly questioning what the hell's going on, came out with a statement earlier this evening, like
just before
2-3 hours ago, which said Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and in the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great.
And that's because of the rumor that, and it's funny, when the whole layoffs and 343 stuff came out, one of the first things I said was maybe going forward, one thing they could try is 343 become this much smaller team.
Initiative style,
like this much smaller. I wouldn't even give them the name 343 anymore. I'd change their name because that 343 is just a tainted name now. I'd give them a different name, and they're the stewards of Halo, and they take pictures. So third party and even other Microsoft internal studios, they come and pitch and go, this is what we think a new Halo game should be. This is what we think. They take the pictures, they pick the one they like, and then they oversee and say, okay, well, these are the rules of Halo. The gun's got to look like this. The lore is this. The Chief's armor is this color. You got to stick to these rules, but aside from that, you make the Halo game you want to make. That's just what I thought might be a good idea going forward. Then there was rumors from that bathrobe Spartan, which basically alluded to 343 potentially doing something like that.
Yeah.
So I assume that statement, what I read in that statement was, well, no, we're making.
Yeah, a lot of Halo YouTubers leaped on that rumor as gospel as well. To my knowledge, it was never accurate. Like that they were going to be moving into like a publisher style role or a Guardian style role, and them partnering with other studios isn't unheard of. They partnered with they've partnered with certain affinity from what we understand with Project Tatanka. They partnered with what's the other one that begins with CA? Come on, Sega Studio. They did Halo Wars 2.
Oh, Creative Assembly.
Thank you. It always drives me nuts. I always get the two of them combined.
Yeah.
So it's not outside the realms of possibility for them to do that. And maybe that is something that they'll consider anyway. But here's the thing. And it's on the screen right now. Xbox is Halo. Back in 2011, Phil Spencer himself, we mentioned him earlier in the show. He's out there receiving awards. He said, if we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way with Xbox. Now, I'm putting something together at the moment. Like I want to try and get down my thoughts in long form on this, and I'll probably drop it early next week, and maybe I'll be too late. And we've said this before, right? Think about all the things, the noise and drama that 343. And I want to caveat this, right? Because I know a lot of people that work there, and they're really good people, and they love Halo. I'm not talking about them. When I think about who's to blame for this scenario,
it's definitely higher up.
It's the leadership team.
100% higher up.
What the hell is going on, right? Think about it. Think about the timeline. 2007, Halo 3. 2009, ODST. 2010 was Reach.
10 was Reach and 12
and then
was
2012. So Reach was Bungie's last game. 343 took over. They built a studio. They released Halo 4. Now, Halo 4 had a full multiplayer. It was missing some game modes, but whatever. It had multiplayer. It had Forge. It had a campaign. And it was the prettiest Halo game to date.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Even now, it's probably the prettiest Halo game.
So I could say right then and there, okay, not good effort, right?
Although the multiplayer was arguably the worst one, arguably.
Yeah. So, but then Halo 5 happens, right? And then we have a kind of all over the place campaign, like in terms of combat encounters and level design, kind of cool. But story, a muddled mess, right?
Very forgettable.
And you have to read the books and you have to know this. Blah, blah, blah. Then the multiplayer is
visually underrated. I actually think Halo 5 was visually underrated. It was a decent looking game.
The campaign, maybe.
especially on Series X.
Yeah, the campaign maybe, but the multiplayer was odd. But look, my point is this. They have consistently kind of not got it right. And 2020 and Halo Infinite, when they first did that tech demo, what was it, 2018 of Slip Space, and everyone was like, holy shit, this looks really good. This is going to be great. Right. And then we see the first demo, and we're like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And then the showcase happens, and somehow it made it past everybody.
So many people.
Into our eyeballs that was an okay showing. Gameplay wise, yeah, great, fine, brilliant. But graphically, like what were they thinking, right? And how did this happen? And you hear all these horror stories. We've seen interviews with Bonnie Ross back when she was the lead, with Ryan McCaffrey saying, oh yeah, we rushed them, we didn't give them the time, we didn't give them the right tools, we're not going to do that, I promise it's never going to ship without split screen, all of these promises. And then the same things kept happening. Now look, I get it, global pandemic, and again, it's not the development team's fault. But you can't, and this is what really pisses me off, to be honest about it. They work their butts off, ground like crazy to get the game out, even with a year's delay through a pandemic. And the reward is, congratulations, we're making you redundant because we couldn't manage the projects properly. That's just my initial emotional reaction. So you look out, and I can't help but do it. You look out at the premier studios of the other first-party platform holders, Sony and Nintendo. Halo should be, and used to be, the game that drove the platform forward. It drove innovation across Xbox Live. It drove innovation across game modes. It drove it across the board. Campaign, Forge, all of that stuff. Now, Forge is great now, right? And it's a miracle that team got it all done, considering what they probably had to fight through to get resources and to get the focus on. But it boggles the mind. And I go back to that Phil Spencer quote. If we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way with Xbox. Your first party is not to churn out one and done okay games or good enough games. It is to evangelize and promote Xbox as your platform and show all the technical innovation that your first party teams can do, because they know the hardware in and out.
Can I say one thing?
You can. I know I've been on a bit of a rant.
He did say that quote when they had 4 studios.
I know. There is some context to that quote, right? Because it is a long time ago.
Yeah, but I know they had 4 studios, but I still think it holds even now. In the end, ultimately, Xbox as a brand exists because of Halo. If it wasn't for Halo, there'd be no Xbox right now.
And it's just not, it's very hard to get over the fact that it's not that important to the brand anymore.
No.
It's not.
Well, it might not be, but it's important to me. Right? And it's important to a lot of Halo fans. And I think it speaks volumes. Here's the thing. Here's what I think the bigger message that I want to try and communicate here is, we've seen some takes that say, I think Jeff Grubb, he put a take out, he put a Games Mess question, he puts polls out on Twitter, where it's like, does this give you confidence in Microsoft and their ability to manage their first party? And honestly,
he was saying, do you think that their first party is going in the right direction?
That's the one. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was paraphrasing, but yes. Right. And it made me pause for a second, not because it's a hot take or anything, right? But it feels to me like, even if you think of something like The Last Guardian, right? That team, despite the fact it took 11 years or whatever the hell it took, they were allowed to finish their game on their terms. And it came out and it did fine. All right? I'm not saying it was the best game in the world. And I understand that at some point you have to go, whoa, you're taking too long, you're spending too much money. There's deadlines for a reason. But the leadership team made a bunch of promises after Halo 4, made a bunch of promises after Halo 5. And yes, a pandemic kicked in and fucked everybody's lives up. But they should have kept that promise. And I feel like it speaks volumes to what's happening. What message does this give to the rest of the studios under Microsoft? And I'm being genuine here. This isn't a hot take, right?
It's not a hot take, though.
I know.
This is where I'm going to start now. What's been pissing me off through this whole 343 Halo thing is that everyone kept wanting to tiptoe around certain things and not wanting to say certain things, and then people would get shouted down for merely suggesting that there was issues higher up at 343 when it was quite obvious that there were. Like,
we've heard it from developers on Twitter now, calling out specific
but it was
leadership.
so obvious though. Like, and it just used to piss me off that no one wanted to say anything. I mean, there was a handful of people that would, but it's because I used to see developers from 343 get attacked on Twitter, and I'm just like, don't attack those developers. They're the underlings. They're the soldiers. They're the fodder, the pawns in all of this. Who you should be focusing your criticism or critique at is the higher up people.
Yeah.
Like everyone just kept tiptoeing around it. Oh, no. You know, Bonnie doesn't really look after the game. She just kind of sort of over. No, she's the head of the studio. Like, if the buck doesn't stop with her, then who the hell is it stopping with?
And this is the thing.
We all heard the story. Microsoft was thinking about ditching Halo, and it was Bonnie who came to Phil and said, no, you can't get rid of Halo. Like, Halo's so important. Let me put together... Like, so we credit her because she wanted to make 343 and keep Halo, but then we don't want to say anything negative if something's gone wrong. So hold on a second. When is she taking credit and when is she not?
I get it, right? And look, I think we could dissect the past, right? But if I'm thinking about the here and now, the one thing that if I was a developer working for Microsoft, Microsoft, really good pay, quite, good benefits, all of that fun stuff, right? And certainly if you're not in the US where you can't be just fired at a whim like you can, right? In the UK, you're probably a little bit more comfortable, but creatively, to the people that, and bear in mind, a lot of game creators are creative people. What does it say to you? Because you are not just a Nintendo or just frankly, at this point, Sony, just a PlayStation. And that's the sole purpose. And that's the reason we do what we do, because this is our one product. No. You're attached to a multi-billion-dollar organization with priorities. Yeah, you're absolutely right. With priorities that extend far beyond the creative, but they are shareholder driven and and all these other business avenues that we have to focus on. And it's like, do I want to be under that boot? Yeah, and I am being perhaps a bit OTT, but it really got me thinking about like, and what timing? Hey everyone, come and watch our show. Look at all our developers and how happy they are to talk about the games, the ones we haven't fired. Like, I get it. I'm being really, really silly and dramatic with that take. But the timing of it, here's a great show, but we're going to shadow it. We're going to overshadow all of it with the fact that we've gutted what is supposed to be our premier IP. Now, I've heard arguments on Twitter saying that Halo isn't that relevant anymore, and that Halo, doesn't have to be the face of Xbox anymore. It's been the face of Xbox for 20 years. Like, I'm sorry, can you imagine if Nintendo was like, yeah, we fired everyone that ever made Mario?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Mario's not important anymore. We've got Zelda.
And that's what I mean.
We've got Rabbids.
Imagine,
it just doesn't compute to me.
Imagine if Nintendo, the last time I would equate Nintendo doing something with Mario as to what has happened with Halo would be Mario Sunshine. That was like the last time.
Didn't it get a remake? Or a remaster?
Sunshine. I was part of that remaster collection and no one plays it.
They're still proud of it,
sucks.
people. They're still proud of it.
It sucks. But imagine if stuff like that was happening with Mario. It would be like, oh my God, it'd be sacrilegious. Like, I don't know.
I can see Miles in the chat. He's come up with a really good quote. This game didn't meet expectations because of the decisions we made.
That's what it is.
It's
and
true.
When everyone was screaming at them and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing this, you're doing that. They were like, no, we know what we're doing. It's like, well, do you though? Like,
Yeah.
I
don't know.
The coalition one surprised me. Why would people from the coalition be gone?
It might just be contractors. It might be
Okay.
people from a pre-production point of view that aren't necessary, or I
Because
don't know.
There was no mention
right?
of
There's
Turn
no-
10.
No, but the point is, I don't want to make conjecture where we have no info whatsoever, right? But those are some of the studio names we've heard. Playground, Rare, all of those. Nothing's come to
Yeah,
light.
not
right?
that we heard, yeah.
But that's the difference between working in the UK and working in the US. Right, in the UK, you have to actually make the role redundant, i.e., yep, here's why it's no longer necessary anymore. Whereas it's just, we're just letting you go. So,
Yeah.
anyways, there is a plus side to all of this, right? And that is to those people that have been typing in the hashtag Fire343 and hate the devs and down with Halo. Halo needs to be restarted. Well, it looks like they may have got their wish to a certain degree, right? The live service team is in place. They're doing their thing. That's what we understand. But perhaps this is the moment. New leadership, new people. Think about all the senior people that left after Halo shipped, right? There were tweets upon tweets. Tom French is gone. Patrick Wren was one of the senior multiplayer designers. He's gone. He's working with Respawn and Apex now. Bunch of people left, right? And how is this? This is conjecture. This is pure speculation for me. Is this a bit of cleaning house? Right. Let's get some fresh blood, some fresh leadership, some fresh eyes in here. Let's fix this now. Finally.
Well, until you mentioned the coalition, I thought 343 were the only first-party devs that had lost people, and that made me think, okay, they've used this 10,000 layoffs as a way to clean a bit of house at 343.
ZeniMax
but then you mentioned the coalition.
Bethesda as well. I saw some PR people from Bethesda let go, which is unsurprising considering that they had a whole publishing arm attached to Bethesda, and well, they have a whole Xbox global publishing arm attached to Xbox.
The same thing happened with Double Fine.
Exactly.
After they bought Double Fine, a bunch of the publishing people were let go because they don't need to publish their own games anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, we will see. Right now, there are problems that exist in multiplayer from my point of view, somebody plays it a lot. But they're all, as I understand it, being looked at in flight. I can't say that. Season 3 I'm looking forward to. Yeah, look, they've come out and said it tonight. Halo's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Let's see what happens. But I think, it will be interesting to look back. It will be interesting to look back. But the gutting thing for me is with all of those people gone, finally when they got the art style right, in my opinion, a modern high def 4K take on Halo, I thought they really nailed it with Infinite. Does it scare me a little about what that might look like in 4 years whenever we might see some single player? Will we ever see DLC for Halo Infinite? I don't think so.
Well, that's the other thing. We've had conflicting rumors now.
Unreal.
There were rumors that there was stuff in the works, and then Jez and Jason Schreier have been like, I don't think anything was ever in the works. And then I saw someone else on Twitter saying that he was speaking to a 343 audio guy or something who had been let go that mentioned that there was some single player DLC in the works. So I have no idea now where the truth lies. Like that, people keep referring to this 10-year plan. I still to this day don't think anyone at 343 ever actually said we have a 10-year plan for Halo Infinite. I don't think that was ever a quote, but maybe I'm wrong.
It was definitely a marketing buzz.
There was a line about for the next 10 years of Halo, like used that way.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was more in reference to the engine and the tools that they developed, right? This is the new future platform.
Well, people have since taken that though and taken it as, well, they said they've got a 10-year plan for Halo Infinite. And it's like, I don't think that's ever what they said. But in the end, Halo Infinite was clearly going to be a long-term game regardless. And if this single-player deal, like we're now in 2023, game was supposed to be out in 2020, came out 2021. If we're now in 2023 and supposedly there was no roadmap for single-player DLC, then what the hell was going on?
Well, I think there's a lot of conflicting rumors. Here's what I think. I think that the next big Halo beat that you can expect outside of seasonal and live content updates will be what Certain Affinity are working on. And bizarrely, yeah, I think it's going to be made in Unreal. I don't think it's going to be made in Slipspace. So
Are you
will
talking
that?
about Tatanka now?
I'm talking about Project Tatanka. Yeah, I think that's the big moment. The next moment you'll see anything Halo-ish. Who knows? Let's wait and see.
But would if Tatanka, if the battle royale ends up being in Unreal Engine, let's say hypothetically, that I assume would mean it's its own thing and it's not part of Infinite.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know, because if I was releasing a battle royale that was set in the Halo world, I'd allow a player to take in all their cosmetics and stuff from Infinite into that game if you're playing as a Spartan. But maybe that's not the plan, right? Maybe they're keeping the arena stuff for the arena folks, and maybe Tatanka will be your wish, mate, where it's not Spartans at all, but ODSTs. Who knows? I don't know. But there's been too much noise, and it keeps coming back about Unreal. They prototyped Halo in Unreal. They didn't use it because it didn't feel right, and I'm definitely summarizing there.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't know engines. I don't know if Unreal is good for open world or not. I assume there's open world games out there in Unreal.
It wasn't. Unreal 5 is meant to solve that, doing things. I think Josh Sawyer actually did a thing about, it might have been Josh Sawyer, about how Unreal 5 breaks down worlds into partitions and the way it loads and stuff.
Gears 5 is in Unreal 4. Correct?
Yeah.
Is Gears not basically an open world game?
You've got the Coalition, who are wizards who figure those things out. When you talk to other people who use Unreal Engine 4, it's terrible for open world.
Yeah.
So how the hell did Gears 5 happen?
It wasn't.
The Coalition are really good, and it's also not that big. It's not doing that much in the background.
It's lots of it is very, just flashy tunnels, mate. Rather than open world.
It's still fairly open world.
There's a reason why whenever you go from section to section, you still have to go through an entrance to every actual combat area and story area. You're not just going right into them like Assassin's Creed.
But look, I don't want everyone to be bummed out.
They did a pretty good job masking it.
They did. The nutshell is this, chat. I don't want everyone to be bummed out. It's a terrible week for those that lost their roles.
It's okay to be bummed out a little bit.
It is.
When it's warranted, it's okay to be bummed out. Stop. Have you seen Inside Out? Let people be sad. If they want to be sad, let people be sad. It's how they work through things and move on. If people want to be sad, they can be sad. I wanted to continue on this Unreal thing. If there's one thing we know Unreal can do, it's a battle royale. Look at Fortnite is proof that they can do a big giant island that everyone drops onto quite well. So if Tatanka winds up... What?
Yeah, no, well, no, it doesn't really change your point. We were talking about Unreal doing open world. When I think of open world, I think of lots of systems communicating all at once and NPCs going about their stuff. Fortnite isn't that. Fortnite is just a big open space where everyone shoots each other, right? So,
yeah, that's right. That's what Tatanka, I assume, would be.
Well,
I still have hopes that my dream of ODSTs dropping in and just zoop, away they go. I still have hopes that that's what it's going to be.
What if it's that, but there are PvE elements in order to earn credits, in order to upgrade, in order to take on other teams, blah blah blah.
So it becomes even more like ODST.
Yeah. No, it's
so
just
then
ideas.
It just becomes ODST Battle Royale, like the game ODST, but infused with Battle Royale then.
We've got a super chat from Painful Discourse, which is it's almost an insulting username.
Yeah, Painful Discourse. 10-year plan was a Chris Lee thing. He left in 2020.
He did. He was a nice guy. Met him. Very nice chap. But can't really comment.
I mean, I was watching GaaS earlier, and he mentioned how he would love to see like a documentary on all of this, and I would too. I'd be very interested.
I'd love
To
to.
have
I'd love to
someone-
be fly on the wall and actually really learn, like, the real ins and outs. I mean, surely Schreier's got to be like, come on, people, tell me the truth now. All these fired people, you're not beholden to the beast anymore. Tell me
I'd
the
be
story.
very surprised if Schreier is not reaching out to like everyone that's left 343 in the last 2 or 3 years and be like,
Yeah.
so what was your experience like? So who was doing what? Who was? I'd be very shocked if he's not doing that as we speak.
Yeah.
I'd just be genuinely curious, like, because so many people. So I've seen some people go, well, hold on, the buck really stops with Phil because Phil's like the head of Xbox, and then others like, well, no, Matt Booty oversees studios, and then others are like, well, no, Bonnie's the head of 343, but then it's like, no, but Chris Lee was actually the head of, and like
I
everyone
heard
just
some
seems to.
crazy stories about how that demo happened, and I've heard some. I won't repeat it because I still work quite closely with a lot of these guys, right? I've heard some crazy stories. It is what it is, guys, right? But they've stated it today. They've quelled, at least for now, the uproar. But yes, as Miles says in the chat, there's going to be some juice following this. It's going to be some juicy juice to dig into.
It's just a shame. Like,
It is. It is a shame.
I know some people are arguing that Halo's not necessarily that. It's not that it's not the premier IP, but it's not the pillar that it needs. It doesn't need to be the pillar anymore. But in the end, it kind of is. Like, in the end, it's Halo. It's Master Chief. In the same way, it's Mario for Nintendo. In the same way, it's, I guess, become Kratos and God of War for Sony.
And Joel and Ellie,
It has become. It wasn't for a long time.
It's more
Kratos,
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spider-Man
but
2.
It's not Spider-Man.
I mean,
Um,
I still think my point stands, right? 343 Halo should be the game that shows off everything that the platform can do. It should be the
first-party
one
games
pushing
in general.
in general.
should be
But
doing
yeah,
that.
Halo used to be that game, right? Now, is it going to be Starfield? Is it going to be Redfall? Is it going to be 1010? I don't know. But Halo used to push the envelope, man. It used to, every time you'd be like, fucking, there's so much content here. And I hear the feedback now. Oh, why is 343 held to the fire that they've got to have a fully multiplayer suite, a full Forge editor, a full campaign, a live service? Because that's what they said they'd do. If you want to set some expectations, hey, we're making a Halo game, but it's just a single player game. Or hey, we're making a Halo game, but it's just a multiplayer side. Or hey, we're making a full, like, do it in bits and pieces. Set the expectation from day one so that people aren't like, I'm going to score it down because it hasn't got an extra map or whatever. It is what it is. But it used to push the envelope. I want to see at some point in the near future to see 343 or Halo as an IP pushing that envelope again.
Can you? I don't know if it's going to wreck everything or not, but can you turn off the NVIDIA eye thing?
I don't know. Why is it scaring you a little bit?
It's just, I don't know. There's just.
I'm just
something
looking at you, bro.
off-putting
What's up?
about it? There's just something off-putting about it. And you were rubbing your eyes a second ago, and I saw this black flicker just come across when you were rubbing your eye. Look at that! Oh my god! Look at that! Can you just turn it off, please? Like, just turn it off. I don't like it. It's just. Please,
I can turn it off, but it will mess with Jesse's
Will it?
StreamYard, yeah, because I have to turn the camera off and disable it and then turn the camera back on.
But can't you just turn it off in NVIDIA and still broadcast through the NVIDIA thing, but just turn it off? Can't you do that? Can't you just like toggle it off? Just toggle it off, but stay in the NVIDIA thing.
Let's see if it
toggle it off.
works. I don't know if it works, mate. I can't make any promises for you.
It'll work. It's still on.
Hang on. It takes me a minute to load. You ready?
Yeah.
It's off.
Okay. It's off. Good. Leave
It's
it
off.
off. Leave it
You
off,
sure?
please.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't like it at
Some
all.
people, honestly.
Anyway, now at least you look like you've got fucking life in your eyes. Like where before you just look like a dead person talking. Like Weekend at Bernie's, you're like. Oh God.
Oh,
Anyway.
Japes. People.
Halo is dead. Halo is
dear.
dead. What
Yes,
do you do?
indeed. Anyway, look, there's an hour. I'm sure Jesse's not drowned himself in alcohol yet. He loves to do Halo rant.
I lowered your volume in my headset so I can really hear you at all.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? What?
Nothing.
Oh, you turned it back on. Turn it off. Turn it off.
No, I have them covered with the sunglasses. No one could see. I saved everybody.
Yeah, good. Covering with sunglasses.
Yeah, I'll try and line up to him. Hang on. Just keep the sunglasses still. Keep it still. There you go. Everything's okay.
There it is. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, okay. I've stopped now. I'll leave it off. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. I'll do it next time.
To keep the bad news train going, because there's like been so much of it lately.
Choo choo.
Yeah. Speaking of things shutting down, Avengers. Who didn't see that coming?
The rumors were swirling for like a week, right? And there was like any day now. And then, oh, hey, everyone. Yeah, we're switching it off in September of 2023.
Like
Square Enix, live service.
God, they're just a shit company. They're just such a shit company. I swear to God.
I have no idea how they make choices and do business, honest to God. It makes no sense to me. But were you a big Avengers fan? Jesse, I know I played a bit of it. Jesse, you played it. I think you reviewed it.
I only played the demo.
It was a good campaign, right?
But it was an excellent campaign with the worst tacked on co-op multiplayer. So the actual campaign itself is very good. Kamala Khan's story, her characterization, the actual gameplay, all that is great. The gameplay's hurt a bit because you have to level everyone. And having to level everyone, like Iron Man's unbelievably bad to play at first, and then really good once he's leveled. It's one of those. They wanted the Destiny thing, except for they're not allowed to do a bunch of outfits. They did have battle passes for everyone, but they were free. Every battle pass was free, never expired, and you earned enough to actually buy the battle passes for all the new characters. The new characters were always free. The new content was free. Like, it was the game in right now, it's by far the best time to ever play it because it's a really fun game that had one of the worst tacked on forced co-op thing. It's on Game Pass. You don't have to buy it.
Is it on Game Pass, Avengers?
It's been on Game Pass for a while. It's actually had a really big, thriving community on there because it's fun.
Wow.
It's 180 gigabytes or something like that. I'm not making that up. It's unbelievably big. So make sure you have the space if you're going to play it.
Do you want to hear something funny?
I think it's over 200 actually on PC.
I use Microsoft Edge, even on my Mac.
It's a good browser, man. The Chromium version
It's a great browser. It's actually the best browser out there. So I use Microsoft Edge, and I went to xbox.com.au, and Edge came up with a warning saying, hey, this site's pretty unsafe.
Microsoft's browser warned you about
your
Edge.
site in your browser. What are you talking about?
Being somebody's gotten into your laptop and they are doing their best to try and break in to something.
Oh yeah.
Did someone's kettle just boil?
My son's making a cup of coffee.
Oh, I really want a coffee now.
Avengers. Let's have a look. How much is Avengers? I'm just curious to see how much it is
brand
to buy
new.
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 40 to 60, but it's on Game Pass. So, and those are the types that go on sale every week.
It's $55.96.
Yeah,
for me to.
It's got a lot of content. You play that. You never touch the multiplayer for stuff. You just do the campaign, the main campaign, and then all the DLC campaigns they put in. You can get a lot of value and fun out of that.
Yeah,
I didn't mind the demo. How it gave us a bit of Iron Man. It gave us a bit of Hulk. It gave us a bit of Captain America.
It was fine. It was just the problem is if you're going to do a game on an IP as big as that has been as big as
Avengers.
Marvel's, you can't use the B movie stand-ins. You're going to have to pay the.
Their voice acting is good.
Yeah,
I know
fine.
they might not look the best. The actual characterization of voice acting is good. You can't. Spider-Man is PlayStation exclusive, but in a very Bungie move, he is terrible. He's really bad to play as. He looks awful. He looks like an old man running around in a diaper, shooting out his webs.
That's a shame.
I'm actually glad you brought Spider-Man up. I'd also like to bring up Spider-Man and relate it back to my rumors and how I get information and. You know, people think I throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks. There's a lot of stuff Oh, John, turn it off. Your eyes are flickering.
What are you talking
Please
about?
turn it off.
It's off.
Like, there's a lot of stuff I get that I never say for whatever reason. So a long, long time ago, back when everyone thought Avengers was going to be this huge game, I had actually been told that Spider-Man may end up coming to the Xbox version. That's the sort of stuff I had been told. I was like, oh, there might be some sort of loophole where they can actually get Spider-Man into the Xbox version without any problems. I was like, really? Are you sure about that? They're like, yeah.
There's an argument in the chat about it right now. Is that why you bring it up?
What?
An argument. There's a discussion in the chat right now about how they've never brought Spider-Man to everyone.
Yeah, there was a deal. As far as I know, there was a deal in place, but I think I had been told by someone who had friends at Crystal or something that there might have been this loophole where eventually they'll be able to get Spider-Man into the Xbox version. And I was like, God, how would that work? Like surely the agreement Sony has is ironclad. They're like, oh, no, I'm not going to go into details on what I was told that loophole is, because then maybe someone will get in trouble. But it's just one of those things where I get a lot of info I never mention. I have to find the DM because I keep them all in my OneNote. But they were like, oh, he may get in. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. But
yeah,
it was an example of how I say I get so much. People don't realize the volume of shit I get in terms of DMs from known sources. I don't just get them from random people that say, actually, no, that's not true. Sometimes random people do reach out to me on Twitter and stuff and go, I've got this info if you want it. I'm like, okay. I just sort of leave it to the side. But in terms of my known sources, like that I stick with, I get there's so much stuff I get that I never mention. And it just sits in OneNote forever and never gets spoken about. Spider-Man in Avengers on Xbox was one of those things.
Wow.
I had been, you know what? You vamp. I'm going to find the DM to see when I got it.
Oh,
in my OneNote.
It was like 5 minutes just to say that, hey, I had been told he was coming. And
he's obviously not going to come now because...
No, reverse world clarification. Spider-Man released as an exclusive character for the Avengers game on PlayStation. Nick had heard that there was some sort of way that was also going to come, Spider-Man the character, to the Xbox version at some point, which obviously never happened. But that's one of the things. He's just trying to clarify what that actually was. But
I wasn't. Yeah, hold on, wait. What is Nick saying? Spider-Man on Xbox? No, I meant the Spider-Man DLC for Avengers.
Yeah,
which was exclusive to PlayStation. Someone had told me ages ago. Where the hell is that DM? Someone had told me ages ago that there was a chance he could come to the Xbox version through like a weird loophole. And I'm like...
Arachnid person. I like that.
Senor Spider-Man. His non-union Mexican equivalent. Is that what The Simpsons says? Yeah. Oh man, I can't find that DM. I've got to find it eventually. But yeah, anyway.
But
we're talking about Avengers, so it made me think of the fact that I had been told he may come one day, and clearly that's not going to happen because the game shuts down September 30.
Yeah, 2023. Yeah, correct.
But you'll be able to still play the game beyond.
The game will
September
stay up
30.
and be playable after that. It simply won't. Yeah. It will be delisted and it won't be
updated.
They're shutting down the microtransaction store pretty soon, and they won't work on the game anymore.
Hopefully, they sell it super cheap just before they shut it down. I may pick it up just for the sake of it. Maybe.
Now, that was obviously developed by Crystal Dynamics.
Yes, which leads
Speaking
us to...
of Crystal Dynamics, now I read this, but I can't remember the person and the details. So hopefully you can, Nick. But this is a semi-reliable person who shared some stuff about CD previously and was correct. I think in terms of DLC plans and other bits and pieces, and they had shared that Perfect Dark had hit some road bumps. So
yes,
Tomb Raider development is in progress and is going quite well. Perfect Dark had hit some road bumps. Is that about the gist of it?
Yeah, there was some person who has apparently a Crystal Dynamics type
Insider.
leaker / insider / has a friend at Crystal / whatever you want to call it, has basically said that Tomb Raider is far further along than people think. So even though we just heard now about the next Tomb Raider being published by Amazon and developed by Crystal, allegedly that game has actually been in development for quite some time already and will make it out probably before Perfect Dark does.
Wow.
Which, I mean, before I had read that they said Tomb Raider's been in development longer than expected, at first I was like, holy crap, if they're just starting Tomb Raider from scratch now, how the hell is that going to be out before Perfect Dark? Like, what sort of trouble's Perfect Dark in? But then they said, no, Tomb Raider's been in development for far longer than people think. So it's like, okay, well, all right. A couple of road bumps can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, like let's not grab our pitchforks here.
Yeah, there are
The
3,
bad
4,
news
3
train.
road bumps, and then there
Yeah.
are like other studio road bumps, which are just like, oh yeah, we sort of had to pivot because this tech wasn't working, so we had to change to this, and this idea wasn't working, so we had to adjust things. There's road bumps come in varying shapes and sizes.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't quite know if that's the story people would want to make it out to be, especially now that apparently Tomb Raider's been in development for quite some time. Like, which I hadn't. I just assumed the fact that they've just announced Tomb Raider, it was almost like a pitch announcement. Come make the new Tomb Raider with us. But it looks like Tomb Raider's been in development for a while, which makes me think, are Crystal still using... Did they announce anything like engines or anything like that? Or would they still be using their own engine that they used for the other Tomb Raiders?
I thought they said Tomb Raider's on Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I
So
don't
they
think.
have changed engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their engine was like
Amazing.
really,
Especially on
pretty
Xbox.
good.
Particularly, it's like that engine was made and optimized for Xbox. Because remember, I don't think Crystal was ever doing the PlayStation versions of their games.
No,
I think that was always Nix's.
yeah,
Which
They
made
did all the
sense as to why
ports.
Sony bought Nix's. And that's why so many thought, well, Crystal will end up under Xbox. I still have some hope. Personally, I still have a glimmer of hope that Crystal ends up under Xbox. We've spoken about this before.
yeah.
But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, if Tomb Raider is switched to Unreal, God, and that's been in development for a while.
It can be just as delayed as every other Unreal Engine 5 game because that engine's shit. I hate when people keep saying put everything on Unreal Engine. That
Why is it
freaking thing
shit?
is it's been 2 years and the only thing that's actually really come out on Unreal Engine 5 is their own
It's Fortnite.
massive battle
It's
royale
Fortnite.
that they have 8 billion people working on for their own thing. That thing has
But
been an
I thought that
albatross around
Unreal
games
Engine
real bad.
5, half the appeal of it was how easily it transitions from 4 to 5. I thought that
Hasn't
was
actually
half the
put
point.
it hasn't actually put anything out. They can say that all they want. There's been jack shit and there's just been everything on it's been delayed. So I get so annoyed when everyone says, oh, just everything should be Unreal Engine. I'm like, no, it's really, I'm sad that Tomb Raider's on Unreal Engine because their engine was awesome and the more good engines, the better.
Yeah, I
Crystal's
think
engine
though
was fantastic.
the days, guys, of engines being bespoke to a studio, like the days of Slipspace, and you
The
know, even
Luminous
with all the
engine?
rumors you hear, yeah, all of that stuff, you know, they're numbered because game development is getting prohibitively more and more expensive. And why spend extra money investing in tools to achieve all of the things you think you need for your game when you can buy a catch-all that has more development and more focus because loads of other studios are doing it and they can take all of that shared knowledge and put it into one source? I'm not saying it's the right thing, but it doesn't surprise me from a cost perspective. You think about it, you're Embracer, you've bought Crystal Dynamics. Hey guys, you haven't made, you know, you need to update your end because Avengers was Unreal, wasn't it?
I don't know. But Perfect Dark is Unreal, so it would make sense that, oh, well, these two games we're developing, use the same engine, get experience in it.
Yeah.
Use tricks in one in the other, vice versa, blah, 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 blah. What surprises me is that if Crystal is fairly new to Unreal, which I assume they are because they developed their own engine, I find it interesting that they're doing Tomb Raider in Unreal, but then we found out that they've been working on Perfect Dark for a bit. So I'm like, okay, have they moved to Unreal because of their work on Perfect Dark? And that's why they've moved to Unreal for Tomb Raider? Because maybe Square owns their engine. And now that they're not under Square, they can't use that engine anymore.
Maybe.
I don't know. Because you know how, like, Konami owned the Fox engine.
Yeah.
So Kojima couldn't use Fox engine anymore. He had to use Decima. Is this a similar situation where Square technically owns that engine and Crystal can't use it anymore? That's just what it looks like on the surface to me, because all of a sudden they've gone from their own engine, Unreal.
Maybe you're right. I honestly, I don't know, but yeah, Roadbumps could be something. Probably nothing. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if that's the story yet that people think it is, because
Well,
I don't think so.
Let's talk about some positive things. Nintendo are going to.
There's a reason I put this in. There is a reason I put this in there.
Okay, Nintendo going to boost Switch production in the 7th year.
Yes.
More Switches out there.
Yeah, they want to try and get more Switches out there, despite it going into its 7th year. So
wow.
That says a couple of things. It says, A, we ain't seeing a Switch 2
for a while
time this year. I thought it was going to be this year. I thought the Switch 2, this would be the year. A new Zelda is coming out. The hardware is aging, to say the least. I thought for sure Switch 2 would launch with Tears of the Kingdom. That's what I thought. It's not what I'd been told or
Maybe
heard.
Nintendo
It's just what I thought.
Will nickel and dime, like, hey, we'll release it this year, and then Switch 2 will be a 2024 thing.
They're getting a bit more money out of me with the limited edition Zelda OLED Switch, which I will buy. But the other thing this says to me is, so I saw a friend of mine on Twitter said they're really going for the PS2's crown to hunt down that 155 million consoles sold that the PS2 sold. Fair. Now, we don't normally do this on the podcast. Well, normally we just strictly talk about the news of the week. We very rarely get into, I don't even know what you'd call it, because I know we have tangents, but like this isn't a tangent. This is more something else. But sometimes I forget the following I have on Twitter because it still doesn't feel real to me. And so I forget sometimes that I'll say things and I'll talk like myself, just like I do in the Discord or whatever. And in the Discord, you guys, spam me with emojis, blah, blah, blah. But I forget that Twitter's public and I talk like myself on Twitter a lot and I forget that. So I replied to my friend who said they're going for Sony's best-selling console crown. And I stupidly replied and said, good. I hope they do. I'd like a much more deserving console to be the top-selling console of all time, rather than the overrated PS2.
You can't say that, man. You can't say that.
And there was a discussion, and John Linneman got involved, and he replied to me on Twitter about it, and it just became this thing, and I'm like, I really wish I didn't say anything at all. What are your thoughts on the PlayStation 2?
It was the console that everyone owned.
Yes.
Back when I was a kid.
Yep.
But I didn't have that many fond memories of it, to be honest with you. I played a lot of my games were like, I didn't come in via PlayStation and console. I was Nintendo 64 for that gen.
Yeah.
and then I switched to Xbox when I played Halo. So like I just kind of ignored PlayStation.
Oh,
You didn't
I
play
had a
God of
PlayStation
War
2
or
day
Grand
one.
Theft Auto?
Nope.
My God.
I played Grand
Wow.
Theft Auto, but I didn't play it on PlayStation. I don't think.
Those
I
were
might
pretty
have
much
played it with a friend.
those and Bully were the main things I played on it.
I had Bully on it. I had a PlayStation 2 day one. I worked in retail at the time, and Target had it cheaper than staff price where I worked. So I went and bought it from Target the day it came out. I had a PS2 day one, mainly because it was a cheap DVD player. Which leads me to the fact that I think, like, because I was saying that I found the PS2's library a bit overrated. Like, I don't think Sony's first party was firing on all cylinders with the PS2. Like, there was
Lots of
God War.
uniqueness, but I don't know if it was from Sony first party. Perhaps.
But, like, you know, there was this dude who follows me, and I don't know why, because he's a full PlayStation fan that hates everything I say.
That's
And
why.
He's replied to me going, but the PlayStation 2 had Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill. And I'm like, but dude, you're just proving my point. They're third-party exclusives. Everyone remembers the PS2 for the third-party exclusives. They don't remember it for the first-party stuff because there wasn't that much first-party stuff. Like, for a console that was being made for 13 years and sold 155 million units, it didn't have a lot of great first-party games. God of War is one of my favorite games of all time, and I love Jack and Daxter. But outside of those two, how much do you see me go on about Maximo?
Yeah.
Capcom game. Devil May Cry, Capcom game.
True.
Silent Hill, Konami. Metal Gear Solid, Konami. Look, I took a photo of my PS2 library before I sold it, and everything was third party except for God of War and Jack and Daxter. Everything else I had was third party games. Oh, and SingStar, which no one in America cares about anyway. SingStar was amazing, but that's it. Like I personally don't think the PS2 sold because it was an amazing console with an amazing games. I think the PS2 sold because it was a cheap DVD player, which was a very big deal at the time. DVD was just on the verge of exploding when the PS2 came out. It had no competition.
Yeah.
It had like none. The Dreamcast was basically dead before the PS2 had come out. Xbox was new and came out 2 years later.
Yeah.
2 years?
2001. PS2
2001 or
1999, wasn't it?
No, the PS2 was 2000, and I thought the Xbox was 2000.
End of
2001.
2001.
2001,
So,
yeah. And the GameCube was a year later. And the GameCube was their biggest failure until the Wii U. Like, Nintendo consoles had been trending down ever since the NES. So the NES sold more than the SNES, which sold more than the 64, which sold more than the GameCube. So the PS2 had basically zero competition. It was a DVD player, which everyone was just getting into at the time. I don't think it was because of the games.
And it broke a lot, so you had to buy a bunch of them.
Oh, God, they were the 360 before the 360. And I know that because I worked in retail at the time. Mine even broke. I've only ever had two consoles break, a PS2 and a 360. The PS2 just scratched the shit out of my Tekken Tag, Namco. Like, it scratched the crap out of my Tekken disc, and then I was lucky enough, Sony sent me a copy of Tekken Tag, and then Target replaced my copy of Tekken Tag. So I had two copies of Tekken Tag after that, and got to sell
generous
one
of
of them.
everyone.
Ah, it was so nice. Never had a problem with a PS2 after that. Owned about 5 of them. I had an OG, silver, slim, pink Mother's Day one, and I think there was one more that I had. I owned a lot of PS2s. But yeah, I don't know. I always just found that console massively overrated. I'm not saying it's a bad console. Something can be overrated and still be amazing. I just found it was the only console that didn't support 4 players out of the box. Dreamcast did, Xbox did, GameCube did. Sony wanted you to pay for the multi-tap. Not that the PS2 had that many multiplayer games, local multiplayer games anyway. Didn't have onboard storage like the Xbox did. I don't know. Like, to me, it just wasn't anywhere near as good as the other consoles in its generation. And I don't know. I mean, GTA 3, yeah. Okay, it ended up like most of its big third-party exclusives ended up multi-plat anyway. Like Metal Gear Solid came out on Xbox. Grand Theft Auto came out on Xbox. Resident Evil 4 was a GameCube game that then came to PlayStation 2. Like, I don't know. And I was just going back and forth with people like an idiot about the PlayStation 2 and talking about why the PlayStation 3 will forever be my favorite PlayStation. Because as many of you who do know me know, I'm more of a platform guy and less of a game guy. Like, games have always been lower on the...
Yeah, I can tell every week when we say, what have you been playing this week?
And I've
Makes it
played
real
Rocket
obvious.
League. That's all I've played. Like, as I've gotten older and consoles have become more than just video game consoles, other things have become more important to me. Like, Rand is constantly on me about the fact that I don't actually like any Xbox games. And if I'm being brutally honest, outside of Halo, I'm not super into most of Microsoft's first-party games. Having said that, to me, Xbox as a platform and an ecosystem is untouchable. And if you look at the PlayStation 3, that was the time when Sony they had a platform and an ecosystem. They had cross-buy and they had cross-save. And the PS3 was an amazing media player. Is it a coincidence that it's also my favorite PlayStation? I'm nothing if not consistent. That was also when Sony's first party was more creative, and because they were forced to be creative because Microsoft was kicking their ass with the 360. So they're like, hey, we can't just rely on all the third-party default exclusives because we've sold 155 million consoles. We actually have to make some games now. And we got Resistance, which was amazing. And we got Infamous. And we got Loco Roco. And we got all these... The Puppeteer. And we got... That's where Uncharted and Last of Us started. They started there on the PS3.
Where Sony had to actually fight and make their
that's
first
where
party
it all
relevant.
started.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, the PS3 is by far their best console. It was the only time they had that was when they got closest to having an ecosystem and a platform. And it was just, I don't know. I just, John Linneman was like, I'm just surprised that you could see it that way. Its library was so huge and diverse. It's like, yeah, it was. But just like the Wii, a lot of it was shovelware.
Yeah.
The peaks were great. Like I said, God of War, the first God of War is one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Unbelievable game. I rebought them on PS3 in HD, the remasters. But I don't know. I just didn't see the PS2 the way everyone else did. And part of that is my Sega fanboyism, because I was still a big arcade gamer back then, and I was still into Sega, and the Dreamcast was around, and the Dreamcast had all my arcade ports on it. So that also played a role. But I don't know. I just didn't see but I was also 21 when the PS2 came out. I wasn't a kid that had that nostalgia. Oh, my memories. I was 21. I was already an adult by then. So I didn't have that childhood nostalgia tie to the PS2 like others did. For me, it was just
So
cheap DVD
we
player
could wrap
and-
that up and just say you hope Nintendo...
I said we don't normally do this on the show. And
So
that's why
I just got my
brought up-
shot of adrenaline. I'm ready.
Surely I'm allowed that sort of stuff every now and again.
Yes.
Surely
yes.
I am allowed that
we
kind of
indulge
thing
you.
every now
We
and again.
indulge
I
you,
just got
darling.
a message from a PlayStation fan friend of mine. We play Fortnite together, and he's like, I want to get on this show and debate you right now about the PS2.
Don't let him. Don't let him.
Let me in. I want to debate you about the PS2.
Oh dear.
Hey, it's not happening.
It's not
Not
happening.
happening, mate.
Right.
Next
But yes,
topic.
so that's some good news. More Switch for everyone, apparently. Or
Yes,
bad news.
the
Depends how
Switch
you read it.
deserves to be the best-selling console of all time because it is a console that has sold purely on nothing more than its first-party games and its hybrid nature. It's not a media player. There's no ecosystem. Its UI is stupidly bare bones. It's weak as piss, and yet has sold 120 million units. Like,
Because people like good games.
there is no other console in history. There is no other console in history that has sold purely on its first party like the Switch.
And yet,
There just isn't.
and yet, the FTC says it doesn't really count.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count,
Doesn't
mate.
count.
Doesn't count as
Doesn't
a thing.
count.
Oh, let's not go.
Like-
There's nothing to talk about ABK
Like,
wise this week.
I don't think people realize what the Switch is doing. It again, because I know the hardcore gamers don't care about the Switch. People aren't realizing what the Switch is doing. This is a console with almost no third-party support from the major Western third parties, and it is selling ridiculous numbers, both software and hardware, on nothing more than its first-party games, which are just sequels to existing Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Animal Crossing. It's unheard of what the Switch is doing. I don't think people realize what it's doing. I don't think people truly appreciate what it's doing.
We have a couple of super chats, by the way. I'm not sure if you wanted to
Whoa.
nudge in on those. I'm just trying to steer
Okay.
him back, people. I'm trying to steer him back on course here. That's
Okay.
how I do it.
My friend who I let down last week, Toadpak Shakur. The layoffs are the first time I felt uneasy about wanting the Activision deal to go through, especially so close to the CMA and EU results releasing.
Yeah, it's like, what they? I don't know, man. It's bad timing all around Microsoft. But financial results wait for no man, I suppose.
Yeah, I know, but just like, oh no, I can't say that because Bethesda got people let go too.
Yeah.
I was going to say Activision will run as themselves, but it's like, well, no, Bethesda didn't run as themselves because some Bethesda employees were let go too. So, I don't know. Maybe if there is a future where ABK goes through and then Microsoft does another round of layoffs 2-3 years in the future, whatever, would Activision employees be part of those layoffs? I guess they would.
I think they will be at some point. Yeah, there's 10,000 employees there.
Yes, and I'm assuming that the publishing arm will be let go almost immediately.
Well,
or moved or whatever.
There may be some consolidation, but a lot of these times, like even with Bethesda's people that let go, there's not huge numbers. Even their publishing arm is still there. They're still in charge and they partner with the Xbox publishing arm because the companies themselves, all of their comms, all of their intel back and forth is still intact. So something the size of Activision Blizzard King, you're not going to want to try and reinvent the wheel. You're going to leave a lot of those systems in place, which means leaving a lot of those people in place, at least in the short term. We'll see.
The next one, DS Omen. Thank you for the $5 super chat. So, Alt Space VR is dead, probably due to the layoffs. Do we think the rumored 1 versus 100 revival is also dead? Since those devs were working on it. Yeah, we've heard nothing about the 1v100 for a while. And apparently the guy...
Yeah, you're about to say it. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say, apparently the guy who was sort of spearheading it or whatever has left Microsoft a while back. So my assumption is that, yeah, like I it's Jeff Grubb, and I love him to death. If Jeff Grubb heard that 1 versus 100 was coming back, then 1 versus 100 was probably coming back, but it is now probably not. As we keep saying, Darkwing Duck. Especially post-COVID, things are constantly changing. So don't take the angle of, oh, he made it up or it was never happening. It probably was. And now, for a whole host of reasons, it is not. Which would be a shame. I never played it. I don't think it was even in Australia, but I could be wrong. But everyone I've ever spoken to that got involved in that 1 versus 100 absolutely loved it and thought it was one of the greatest things ever. Apparently. But I would say safe to say that is probably gone. But I'll ask Jeff, and see if he can look into it. Reverse World, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sony can thank 360 Gears popularity for the glory days its current library enjoys. The third-person mechanic cinematics from that game rippled to today. Yes, there is an element of truth to that, but then Gears itself was inspired by Resident Evil 4. So, and Cliffy B has openly admitted that he was inspired by Resident Evil 4. So, it's probably more RE4. No, I get what you're getting at, because Gears, despite being a platform exclusive, Gears was huge. Like, mainstream-wise, Gears was massive.
And it was far more competent than the terrible game that was the original Resident Evil 4.
Yes, Resident Evil 4, even as someone who was much older, when did Resident Evil 4 come out? 01? 02? Something like that?
01 or 02, I think, yeah.
Again, I was 21, 22 when that game came out. And at the time, I liked it, but that's because we didn't really know any better, which happens with a lot of old games that don't age very well. Like, those tank controls in Resident Evil are not good.
They are not
at
fun.
all. That's why I can't wait for the remake, because it'll make the game way better.
Made more modern.
I got so many super
Yes,
chats.
I'm looking for... Oh my God, what's all these super chats?
I love all the super chats. Love you guys.
So
I love them. We just don't normally get them like the other podcasts.
I was going to keep this
do,
in the
for whatever
background.
reason.
I did just go through and unban everyone we had ever shadow banned, because I hadn't done it in a very long time, but that list was unbelievably huge, and I don't know why. We have a lot of mods, so I'm afraid that people might have just been banning a bunch. So apologies if you were ever shadow banned and you didn't really know anything bad, but you can all talk now. And if you say anything shitty, I'll shadow ban you.
More super chats. This will make timestamps easier later. Locant or Locanti, another $5 super chat. Thoughts on Jez? Thinking Gears collection might actually exist? Think we are going to get it finally this year? Well, I watched Xbox 2.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, I did. I got up. I happened to be awake, and I was like...
I got up for it.
I jumped on Twitter like I do, lying in bed, and then I saw the tweet from Rand saying, "We're live!" And I'm like, hey, I'll jump in there. And I saw their thumbnail talk about Gears collection. I'm like, hey, let's jump in there, shall we? So I went in the chat, and I put in a super chat saying, don't talk about Gears, guys. Why would you talk about a game that doesn't exist? And they were sort of going, oh, well, hold on, look, maybe. Gears exists. The Gears collection exists. I have apologized profusely to my source so many times because I leaked it way too early. But look, there are certain things I can't say. Private conversations with Rand and Jez, and I can't say certain things. But because people will get in trouble, so I can't say them. But don't worry, Jez and Rand are well aware now that the Gears collection exists. And outside of Jez and Rand, there might be some other apologies that should come my way. Because I have been on the receiving end of some interesting dog piles from other Xbox podcasts too. That I make stuff up and Gears collection's not real. And...
oh my goodness.
And
you're going to get us demonetized.
Now, in terms... will I really?
Bullshit. No. If you swear within the first minute, it's really likely.
Oh, okay. So, now, Lacanti, in terms of... I'm not sure. I thought we were going to hear about it last year, and we didn't. Actually, you know what? There's only one person that had my back about Gears collection. Tom Warren. Because Tom Warren knew about it as well.
I had your back, man. Like, always got your back, bro.
And Tom Warren is on next week, by the way.
Oh,
we're going 2 hours earlier because Tom's a baby that has to get some sleep. So we're going 2 hours earlier next week.
2 hours earlier means his camera better be on.
Yeah. If he doesn't have a camera, I'll lose my shit.
If he doesn't have a camera on, we're going at the normal
I've
time.
seen his very pretty studio, so he definitely has
a camera. He's got a full setup now. So yes, Tom Warren has always had my back about the Gears collection because he had heard about it too. And he has always, anytime I've mentioned it on Twitter, he replies going, ho, Gears. Tom has known about it too. So now when we're going to hear about it, I don't know. I thought it was going to be last year that we'd hear about it. So my assumption will now move to 2023. When it doesn't get announced this year, I'll say 2024. I don't know. I haven't been told when we will hear about it. I'm just taking a stab at this year. It's just because, it's starting to get talked about more. They need to announce more stuff because people keep talking about how they have no games. That's all I'm going to say. There are other things I know about the Gears collection that I am not allowed to say, and I'm not going to get in trouble for a second time from this source about it. If the time comes that they say, okay, say what it is, say who's developing it, say, then I will say. Until then, just understand that it exists.
Have you? There is another rumor that is broken on Twitter that apparently, did we say this during the show tonight?
What?
Andrew Marmo again. Rumor leak on a recent XboxEra podcast, according to Special Nick and Sik of Mechanico, 343 Industries are working on a Red Dwarf game, which will be as games as a service. I really want that game now.
Should I retweet that?
I'm gonna retweet it. It's brilliant.
Should I retweet that? I'm thinking, did I say something I wasn't meant to say without realizing it? I'm like, hold on a second.
No.
Okay.
There's a Red Dwarf game.
There's one other super chat. My friend Masaid has also tweeted saying to let him in on the show. Next super chat, Xbox Kingdom. Thank you very much. We really appreciate the super chats because we don't get the flood of super chats like the Gazes and the Colts and the Rands and all those guys get. So we appreciate the super chats.
I think we're a victim of our own success and looking so nice as people think we have money behind us. And the truth is we have no money. We're completely broke.
It's the style that John and I talk in. Maybe it doesn't invite.
I would say we're a little bit more conversational.
I don't know. I feel like the way you and I do this is very different to how the others do it. And maybe the way the others do it, people feel like they want to jump in more. And maybe with us they don't.
I mean, we can try and be a little bit more like,
Other shows really get their topics off of chat in a way that we don't.
Yeah, we lead.
Well, that's why I said I think we do it in a different way that maybe doesn't invite people to jump in the way others do. Xbox Kingdom, though, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Can't wait for the Great C being owned by the Big M.
Yeah, I read this and I was like,
who's the Great C? Is that Crystal?
I think so. It's the only thing I could think of.
Is that Crystal Xbox Kingdom? Because you're obviously in the chat. Is that Crystal you're talking about? I assume he's talking about Crystal. If he is talking about Crystal, yeah, I'm with you. I still have hope that Embracer might be flipping them.
Oh, probably
Xbox Kingdom. No, he's not. He must be talking about Capcom. Okay. Yeah. Oh God, Capcom. God, if Capcom, just let ABK go and just get Capcom and Sega. Please get Capcom and Sega. They're the only two.
Get them all. They're not going to let them go. So just also ask for Capcom on top of it.
I want Capcom and Sega. They're the two that I want. But I mean, I'm still going to go on about the Embracer thing. I still think there's an element of Embracer flipping stuff. Buy low, sell high. Another super chat. This is going to make timestamps very easy. Just a bunch of super chats.
Look at this, though. This is lovely. This is the kind of thing I like to read because we're not doom and gloom.
Aren't we?
Unless it's
I thought we
343.
doomed and gloomed about Halo and 343.
We talked. Look, I get that. Jesse, I know you probably don't agree with my take, or maybe with Nick's
I didn't hear
take.
most of it.
Well, I saw Soul Blazers in the Discord. You didn't agree with it, right? But I don't think we doom and gloom. We try and assess and discuss the situation, talk about how we feel about it, but we're not. Xbox is over.
Honest critiques instead of obvious looking for talking point.
Yeah, I'm not out to spit a hot take to just cause drama. Like, what's the point?
Nick spits out hot takes because it's all he knows because he has such terrible opinions.
Yeah, Nick's hot takes are actually what he thinks. That's the difference.
That's what's so infuriating about them.
They're my factual opinions.
It's factually your opinion. None of them are facts.
Sappho, thank you for the $5 super chat. Maybe it's
appreciate
because you guys aren't hosting an Xbox Doom and Gloom podcast. And thanks, by the way. Yeah, look, I still think I talk fairly negatively about Xbox myself. But it's not in a I hate Xbox kind of way or whatever. I've always been that way.
Do you know what was ringing in my head when we were talking through stuff and talking about leadership problems and announcing layoffs and then hey, we got a show, everyone. Ignore all that. The show is Xbox just sometimes don't fucking get it.
They just don't get it.
They just don't get it. Your voice was in my ear. Like, they just don't fucking get it.
Jason, our friend Jason. $15 super chat. More controversial thumbnails.
I've got you covered, Jason. Here we go. Bam, the XboxEra Plays channel. I even use Nick's face to try and sell things.
Look at what our YouTube channel could be.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, the XboxEra Plays channel is all of the Twitch streams downloaded as VODs for your amusement. And Jesse has a good laugh just fucking about with thumbnails in a way that we never would on the main channel.
I like this Tears of War one, damn it. It's really bad.
It's great.
Awful.
It's great.
I'll link it in the chat in a second.
But yeah, go sub to it if you want. It's a good laugh. And Jesse does a great job of grabbing all of the Twitch stuff he does and plunking it on there for historical.
I record it locally at 1440p, 23k bitrate, so it looks real nice on YouTube.
I think Anorexic, was it Anorexic that tagged us and said we should do like a controversial thumbnail competition type thing? Like, I can't remember who it was. Someone tagged us or someone said something about we should do for the XboxEra podcast like a controversial thing, and me and John do a pose and he'll take a shot, and so
that'll be coming up later.
I can't, like, I've
Community
said
questions.
it before and I'll say it again. I just can't imagine. And Jesse, you know, maybe you have some idea what it's like, right? I can't imagine looking at my camera, making a worried face, like, or
I've got
you know,
8 or 9 of them ready to go,
right? And then putting that out there on the like, and what's really depressing is that actually fucking works on people. People actually, a human face that's sad. I need
the
to
human
click and
face
see why
grabs
he's mad.
people. So that's why actually most of the time now I'll get a cutscene and I'll get someone's face in a cutscene and do something goofy around that, and then my own face is smaller.
Now,
Yeah.
Alvin, I will
Simon,
not
Theodore,
accept.
dude,
I will not accept silly comments like that. Tears of Warvid greater than Tears of the AA Kingdom.
I've been working on getting Zelda to run at 4K 60. So playing through Breath of the Wild again before Tears of the Kingdom hit, so I can remember this is an okay game. This is like a 6.5 or a 7 for Breath of the Wild.
It's an 8. Okay. It's an 8. Zelda Breath of the Wild is an 8 out of 10.
It's definitely better with the DLC that came out, but you have to buy that to make it better because it gives you the Korok mask and some other shit. But the fact that the Master Sword can break, I will never.
Yeah, it's dumb. Just any weapon breaking is just dumb.
And I get Grub's opinion on it's like ammo, and it's supposed to be ammo, and you're picking up ammo every time. Fine, I get that, but there should be ways where I don't have to constantly do it. Yeah, I work that hard for the Master Sword, I then don't have to do it anymore.
If it were ammo, it should be that I don't have to pick a new one of the same thing in the menu to carry on bashing. Like, it should just auto switch if it's ammo. Do you know what I mean? Like, it should just replenish. Yeah. That's ammo, Grub. It's bad take. Pico Trek in the chat, not a super chat, but he's calling out something that absolutely everybody on watching right now should be doing.
Forgot about that because of all the rants.
Smashing that like button. 93 likes, 300 odd people watching. Come on, that's
now,
1/3.
I'm waiting on a response here. I just got sent something literally right now.
Are we talking an impromptu Rumourmill, Nicholas?
No, not a Rumourmill, but something related to it. But not a Rumourmill, but something related to it. I just got sent something literally right now, and I'm looking at this, and I'm messaging this person going, is that real? And if it is real, can I mention it right now on the show? Then they haven't replied to me yet. But I'm waiting to get a reply. If I get the okay to say, yes, mention what I just sent you, then I'll mention it. If they say no, then I won't, because I always abide by what my sources say. So I will. If they say no, don't mention what you're looking at right now, then I will not. But
Okay.
if they give me the green light, oh, okay, sure, but just be cautious. Okay, so
Uh-oh. Am I gonna hit the rumor mill button?
It sounds rumor mill. It sounds juicy.
It's not a
What do you-
rumor mill. It's not a rumor mill. Just be cautious. Oh, how do I be cautious about that? And I was just
Oh, no,
about to
you
say
write
the
it for
name.
me
I
and
was just
I'll
about to
figure
say
it
the
out.
name of the person that sent me this, and lucky I didn't. in a Discord DM person, because Discord's faster. Can you please tell me how I be cautious about what you just sent me? Can you tell me how I be cautious about it? Because I don't want to say something wrong. I really want to
Scorch,
talk about what I
maybe-
just got sent
it in
right
our
now.
put it in our private
really
chat.
want to talk
John,
about it.
John and I are good at this. Put it in the private
Yeah, come on,
chat.
put it in the private chat, and I'll come up with a way to.
I'll screen share
I want
it.
to talk about this, but I want to be careful about what I say if I'm supposed to be careful about it. I really want to talk about it. Sorry, everyone who's listening. I'm sure this is boring to see. Okay. That's fine. I can be careful that way. So,
This feels like we should be hitting the rumor mill button.
no, it's not. When I tell you now what it is, you'll find out. So,
Okay.
I don't know if this is 100% legit, and that is me being careful. And the person who sent this to me isn't quite sure if it's 100% legit. I hope it is. It's a picture. You know when you see those people that take photos of a computer screen with stuff that's clearly faked? Like, oh, this is the list from Xbox's E3, and look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's about the Gears collection.
Oh.
And I'm looking at this, and it also has Gears 6 on there. Not just the Gears Ultimate
How is this
collection.
not a rumor mill? This should have
Because
pressed the button.
No.
No.
It's just... no, we are not showing that image. I just saw Locanti in the chat going, I am not showing this image. Because it may not be legit. Because it looks like one of those... You can drop
Wow, it's
the
already
image
up
of
on
the-
gaming leaks and rumors. Holy shit.
You can drop the image of the logo. What? Hold on. What's he talking about?
Is it Gears 6 or
That's
Gears
an
of War
article,
6?
mate. That's an article. That's an article, my friend, on XboxEra.com.
Oh, crop. I can't open up Photoshop right now and crop.
Just deep breaths. You've got it.
Give
No
it
one
Give it
else
to me.
has.
Give it to me and I can.
Just send an email to the team. This is how news is done.
So... Talk, John. Talk.
Okay.
Hold on.
Right. Nick is freaking out because he's
Nick
received
he's
news
confirmed
and
Gears of War
information
6.
about
No.
the Gears collection.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Photoshop, crop it the way this person has said crop it. I'll run it by them and say, can I show this on air? And if they say yes, then I'll do it.
Gears.
Just hold on. Let me... This could be a big deal, but it could be one of those fake things where someone took a photo and went, "Oh, look at this, it's real." I don't know.
Goodness
Are you
sake.
using your camera next week? Be honest.
Who's talking about?
Tom Warren, he's in the chat.
Is
Tom.
Tom there? Hi, Tom. I love you, Tom. I
Although,
know you're
I
poopy,
swear we
Tom.
made
I
Tom
know
a-
you're poopy
a lot of
emoji, Tom
I'm on
Warren,
it.
but that's all in love. It's because I love you.
Might be
But
fake.
you are poopy, Tom Warren.
He says he doesn't have a camera. That's a lie. I've seen your YouTube channel.
Don't you dare say you don't have a camera. That is. Oh,
Yeah,
I
you're
swear,
a
if he
liar,
doesn't-
Tom. I've seen you on Twitter.
If he
doing
doesn't roll
camera
up with a
things.
camera next week, I'm going to crack the shits.
His square will just be me playing his face from his YouTube channel. the
Yeah,
entire time.
don't be silly, Tom, please. You're going to be on camera next week. Don't be silly, please. That's not
Hey,
fun.
Tom, if you're watching, look how freaky this is. This will keep Nick while he's doing this. I downloaded the nVIDIA eye contact
Tom
thing.
had my back
Look.
with Gears Collection. Tom always had my back.
Isn't it weird? I'm not looking at the camera, but it thinks
Okay.
I'm looking at the camera because I'm
I'm
using the
photoshopping as we
AI.
speak, people. This is horrible podcasting. I'm aware of that you guys are
Yeah.
waiting for me to Photoshop something. But it'll be worth it, I think, hopefully.
Audio listeners,
So-
we're sorry about this. Audio
We're
listeners,
sorry. So I'm sending... Oh, the dude that I was going to send this to just did exactly what I just did.
He cropped it for you.
It's the exact same image. He cropped it the exact same way I did, and I've just sent it to him, and now I look like a complete dick face.
I mean, you are.
Okay, Jesse, I'm about to send you this, and you're going to be able to show this on air. Now, again,
okay.
I said I don't know if this is real. It looks like one of those fake. I took a photo of a computer screen.
Confidential.
I took a photo of the computer screen and look at what I'm showing. So I'm prefacing that. I'm prefacing that right now this was taken off a computer screen.
Yeah,
It is now being shown.
So again, that's why I said I don't know if this is real, and the person who sent it to me doesn't really know if it's real. But it's
interesting.
I saw
the
it.
black
I was like,
lines.
oh wow! So I thought I'd mention it. That's what I said. I don't. It's like I literally said earlier. It's someone took a photo on a computer screen, but remember, it's also cropped. This is the cropped part. There's other stuff.
I'll show the
I
uncropped one.
I was asked to
Yeah,
crop
can
out
you drop
stuff.
can you drop the uncropped one to me and Jesse, please, so that we can.
I already
help
have it.
you-
I'll show it to the audience right now.
No.
I'm kidding.
No,
How to make Nick panic.
no, don't do that.
Interesting.
Do you do that? Okay, shit. All right.
Remember, it's cropped. There's other stuff in this uncropped image that makes me think, oh, well, hold on a second, maybe it is real. But I'm not going to talk about or show, because I want this person to trust me going forward. I'm not going to show the uncropped part of this. But take that for whatever you think that is. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
Take that for whatever you think that is. Like I said, the person who sent it to me openly said, I'm not even sure if this is 100% legit. So please no one say, oh, Nick leaked this thing and showed a picture. He said it was real. I've openly said I'm not 100% sure that this is even real. But there it is. That's something cool for the show, yeah?
You know it is real? Keeping those super chats coming. Do it. More and more. We love them.
We do love them.
Cole, we've still got more topics.
Yes, we do.
Lacanti. Let's go, Nick. Lacanti already got over it. He already doesn't buy it. Jason,
Jason.
I'm sold. Jason, I'm sold. Hit that Rumourmill button. Okay.
Do you know what?
Nah, there's not going to be articles. There's not going to be articles about that.
There's absolutely going to be articles about that.
It's off screen. Like I
It doesn't
said, it's
matter.
one of those
The
like you know how
listicle
people
sites,
take
your Forbeses and your Game Rantses and your others, this is what they live off of. The 9 billion listicle rumor sites. It doesn't matter. And they won't take anything you said and put it in there. They'll just take choice quotes to make it sound like you said it was legit. That's what it is.
I really hope they don't do that, because I said a million times, I don't know if this is legit. You saw me
You could
wasting
say-
how many minutes of podcast airtime saying to this person, hey, and now this person will know going forward that that's how I do things, because I'm not
You could say,
intelligent enough.
I hate bananas, and then their article would be, Nick says he loves bananas. They don't care.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But anyway, okay. Tangents
Another
aside,
super chat.
Another super chat. Jason, Nick,
Yeah.
there are 15 articles being written as we speak.
He knows.
all of you super chatters, do you know what would really help us out? If you've ever dropped a $10 super chat right here on the show and you think about doing it next week, think about joining our Patreon, because you can support XboxEra directly. And
A buck.
well,
a
no,
buck.
I want more than a buck, because a buck just
No, but
gets
I'm
you
saying,
ad-free
like,
browsing.
if you think about it, one $15 super chat is over a year of Patreon membership.
That's
For a
true,
buck,
and you
get a free
access-
game. You get
And
a
it-
free game.
yep.
And
And
the
you
higher
just-
tiers are going to be getting exclusive podcasts, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Sik and Nick flicks, or our Star Wars book club we might be doing.
Sik and Nick
lot of
Flicks
things.
is a good name.
Sik and Nick
Nick's
Flicks.
Flicks. Sik and Nick's Flicks.
Yes,
That's a good name.
yeah, it's not
That's
bad.
a great name.
It's
Isn't
not
it
bad.
good that our names rhyme with flicks?
Yes, it
it
is.
works out real well that our names
It wouldn't be
rhyme
so
with
good if it
flicks.
was just called Sick Flicks, though.
No.
No, that'd be
Nick's
great in the
Flicks.
90s.
Yes. Nick's
No.
Flicks is good.
No,
Nick's
no,
Flicks is
no.
great.
No, Jesse.
No, yes.
No.
Anyway, we have other topics to discuss.
We don't have too much more to discuss, funnily enough, topics-wise.
No.
The
We
last
have
one is
14
another piece.
questions this weekend. 14.
Okay. Another piece of good news. Lucid Games, award-winning developers of Destruction All-Stars, a highly rated PlayStation launch exclusive. Why are you laughing?
Because I just saw
Why
Tom's
you
comment in the chat going, hits publish.
Yeah. But yes, Lucid Games are signed up to support Sea of Thieves. Now,
Yes.
that's not unusual in that Sea of Thieves have had other support studios. Delilah, who did Battletoads, did some Sea of Thieves support work.
You mean Dakala? Sukabru did an article and he had Dakala, and I happened to be reading the article and I'm like, Dakala? And I'm like,
that's
I
right.
better get in and edit that. So I just jumped in and corrected it.
But yes, they're supporting Sea of Thieves
Yeah.
with content, which is great.
Yep.
Sea of Thieves is turned into
Hopefully they can fix the combat.
on foot combat. No, I think that's I don't see that changing. I think this is
Oh.
more live service type stuff. But what does it suggest? Does it suggest that the main team at Rare are gearing
Everwild?
up on Everwild?
As Scourge666 is saying in the chat.
Well, there you
Maybe
go.
that means they're all Everwild. I saw a couple of Rare people on Twitter mentioning Everwild too.
Yep.
So
Yep,
maybe
the lead producer was on Twitter saying, "Yep, really get back in, meeting the team, all of that stuff."
Yeah.
So, yeah, fingers crossed we'll see that up. So, yeah, that's good. That's it. That is the
Well,
news.
yeah.
That's the news of the week.
Makers of the smash hit, what was it called?
Destruction All Stars,
Destruction
mate.
All-Stars.
Destruction All Stars. But yeah, so don't say I always try and do like people have the wrong idea about me. I'm not smart enough to do all the things people accuse me of. As soon as I saw that Gears picture, I was like frantically DMing that person. I'm like, is that real? Like, can I show it? They're like,
The crop stuff is more interesting.
The what?
The crop stuff is more interesting.
Oh, the stuff in the crop. That's the only part that makes me think, oh, hold on. The part that's in the crop is the part that I'm like, well, hold on, maybe this is real. Like, interesting. Maybe it is. And that's probably what the person who sent it to me probably thinks. They saw the crop stuff and were like, oh, well, hold on a second. Maybe this is real.
Maybe.
But, yeah. Interesting. I hope
Yes.
you all enjoyed that possibly fake, but also possibly real Gears Ultimate Collection. And that feels like a name Microsoft would use.
Yeah, because you've got the
To
Gears
make-
Ultimate, Gears 1, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Edition.
Rod Ferguson always wanted to change it from Gears of War to just Gears.
Gears.
They've accepted that because Gears 5 was just Gears 5,
Gears
right?
5.
And now we've got
Gears
Gears,
6.
the Ultimate
And Gears
Collection.
Ultimate Collection.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, Gears 1, 2, and 3 would fall under, or whatever else is in this, because these older games would then fall under the newer banner of just Gears.
Yep.
And not Gears of War. Anyway, that's just me, whatever. But yeah, interesting, eh?
Yeah, very, very.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you to the person who sent me that, for sending me that and giving me the go ahead to have a bit of fun on the show.
Yeah, that was a
Thank
good
you.
laugh. It was a good laugh. Now it's time to name the game.
Yes, name again.
Hit that button.
There's no
There we go.
special stories yet. That starts in February. The special stories start again in February.
To be fair, this has got sponsored by Control on it, so Jesse's already sorted that out. So we're okay.
Yeah, no, that was already there.
Yeah.
Naming
So-
anything is too big at the bottom. I gotta change that.
You're playing for who this week?
I am playing for Maddie TTSC, I want to say. I don't know if he's watching, but we'll reach out to him anyway. I'm playing for Maddie TTSC.
Well, I'm going to play for Topp. For those that are new, if you're watching for the first time, or if you've been here 100 times, prepare to me explain, name a game all over again. Jesse has taken a subject, and it's usually gaming related, and he's going to give us the names of video games, but a thesaurus has been applied, and instead of Gears of War, you might have machines of combat, right? And then we'd have to sit there and try and surmise what the real title of the game is. First to 3 points is the winner. And yeah, we play for our patrons. So again, if you're a member of the Patreon, we will pick one of our patrons at random. And if either of us wins, our champion will get a free game code from the list of 90-something game codes we have in our back pockets. Over the
Join
last
Buzzin.live.
year.
I sent you the code.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. I was talking. I can only do.
Gotta do them both at once. Be like a lady who can multitask, like a dumb man like me.
So, without further ado, Jesse, I'll hand over to the Quizmaster.
All right.
Yes.
The subject for this week.
Shit, the buzzer.
Yeah.
I sent. Yes, that's what I sent in the chat. I've only got one player, so Sixer's going to win by default. Wow.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Jesus.
Oh, you know what? I should put a thing up of what the actual the theme of the week is. I'll have to add that at some point. I could probably do it right now.
Okay, I'm buzzer. Okay. Okay.
So the theme for this week are games released in 1996.
Oh my god.
I changed them.
Are you
Don't
serious?
cheat, John. Don't cheat.
Are you serious? Games released in 1996.
1996. I don't remember a single
on.
game that released in 1996.
Come
And I can't
on.
bring up Google, can I? Because I have to have my bloody buzzer page open.
Yep.
All right. I mean, you've heard of all
Because
these
you have to.
games,
That
Nick.
tab
I
has to
didn't
be
pull-
active for the buzzer to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
I
very-
didn't pull from anything that is, unknown, really.
Oh yes, turn off the lizard eyes.
It's off.
You
It's
cheat.
off. It's
Turn them off. You
it's
cheat.
off. I can't believe this.
He
You
only
don't
looks a
even-
little dead inside, not completely. so
Yeah,
it's
come
off.
on, man. Jeez.
Turn
I
off the
hurt
dead
my
eyes.
Feelings. Jeez,
The most
Louise.
competitive man I've ever seen.
I know.
All right. Question
I
number
like
one
cheats.
is Tremor. One word. Tremor.
What?
Tremor. Tremor.
In 96? What
John.
Quake.
Correct.
Oh my god.
Get
They're
ready.
I
popular
feel so
games.
stupid. I
They're
feel so
popular games.
stupid.
Oh, people, hold on. Let me make it so people can actually hear the buzzer. Hold on. Don't talk.
I feel
Shut
so
up.
stupid.
Shut up, stupid. Now you can talk. People can hear the buzzer now. All right. Sik is up 1-0. Let me get question number 2 ready. Question number 2. And Nick, PlayStation 1 games and stuff. I chose popular shit. It's not unknown things. Shut the fuck up. All right. Number 2 is Warped Casting 2. Warped Casting 2. Extremely popular game.
I'm not going to get any of these.
Warped Casting 2. Yep, someone got it in chat immediately. How are you guys so bad at this?
Casting.
How is that Crash Band? It's not Crash Bandicoot 2.
Can we get
What
a
console?
clue, like
What console?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Stick 'em a cat guy.
Twisted Metal 2 had a sequel.
Correct.
Did it have a sequel? Okay.
Yeah, there's been there's been a lot of Twisted Metals.
I remember
correct.
Twisted Metal. I played that. I was always the clown, the ice cream, the clown, whatever it was. I always played as him.
Okay, the next one's kind of, we'll see. Let's go.
1996 is a long time ago, bro.
Nick's
Nick's got to get this one or he's out.
You're saying 1996, like how would Nick get it? But Nick's older than you.
I know.
I am. I just didn't have a PlayStation in '96. I had an Nintendo.
Well, you've heard of all
64.
these games. This game's not known as a PlayStation. It might have been a PlayStation. I don't remember. Probably was.
Hey John, do
What?
you have your buzzer thing active? Because see how my face has gone white because I'm on the buzz page.
Would you
if
like
I
to see
switch
my
tabs-
screen? Would you
if
like
I
to see-
switch to Twitter,
I
if I
feel
switch
like I'm
to
being
Twitter,
accused.
bang, you see the light disappear.
like I'm being
But as soon as I
accused.
go back to the
My
buzzer,
hands-
I'm white.
My hands are up. Look, there's nothing. The buzzer and StreamYard
Don't show
And
StreamYard.
over on
Don't
this
give the link
side-
away.
is my console, which is not on. Well, is not a browser. Okay. So less of that accusationary
All right.
shenanigans.
Next
buddy.
one is one word: Beelzebub. Beelzebub. Nick,
Oh, he's beat me. He beat me.
Diablo.
correct. That was unbelievably close on this. You guys, that was the exact same second. You just got that one. You lucky bitch. All right. The next one's a long one. So the next one is, and let me move it in place. There it is. Road Warrior Commencement 2. Road Warrior Commencement 2. One of the most popular franchises in gaming history.
96.
Yep. One of the biggest games on the PlayStation that people
Because I'm
think
like
of. Didn't
Road
really sell a
Warrior,
ton,
like Mad Max, but the fuck? Road Warrior Commencement.
it is a fighting game.
Oh,
Nick,
It'll be Street Fighter something.
you can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that if you got a different version in your territory, say it the different way.
no. Road Warrior Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Correct. What a comeback.
That's twice he's done that now. As soon as he gives the clue, bang. Road Warrior. Oh, what an idiot. I'm like Mad Max. In my head, I'm like Road Warrior. Mad Max is the Road Warrior. So I'm like, there was no Mad Max game in 96. What?
Yeah, I'm just literally saying the name of the. Next one's even longer. Terminator Intuition Resplendent Yellow. Last two words are one word. Terminator Intuition Resplendent Yellow.
Terminator Intuition.
Resplendent Yellow.
What?
It's not Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Hold on. Wait. Oh, wait. I think I might know what this is. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. That was on the GameCube.
Anorexic
That
would
was on
kill
the
you
GameCube.
guys in this game.
What? Say, hold on. What's the Terminator Intuition Resplendent Yellow?
Resplendent Yellow is one word. How can you give a color a different, a synonym?
Terminator Intuition. Terminator Intuition. Console?
A console version of an arcade game, I believe. If I'm remembering.
Yeah, but what console?
I'm not going to say anything.
Is it
else yet.
Nintendo? Is it Nintendo?
It might be.
Oh,
Sick one by a second.
Is it
As soon as I hear the console, I know.
Gold?
Killer Instinct Gold is correct.
as soon as I hear the console, that's three
Yeah,
times
that's-
now. As
That's
soon
how
as we
my
get the
brain
clue,
works, man.
fuck.
That's a pretty good one.
I was like-
happy with that.
I was like thinking Sunshine for Resplendent Yellow, and that took me off like Mario, and I was like, that wasn't 96.
Yeah, I was thinking Mario Sunshine. I'm like, oh, Super Mario Sunshine. I'm like, but wait, that was like GameCube, which is like 2001. I'm like,
As soon as you said Nintendo, I was like,
I'm like, oh my god, Killer Instinct Gold. Fuck.
All right, next one is,
oh,
and Sick is one, so this is just for fun.
Three in a
Congratulations,
row
Topp.
is one now.
Concluding
But
catastrophe.
it's a marathon, not a sprint. What?
Concluding catastrophe.
concluding catastrophe.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, Gregory. I felt like an idiot too, going Mario equals
Six
Terminator.
Mechanical.
Final fight.
No.
Oh, okay.
Concluding catastrophe.
Anyone in chat got it?
I went with
filling
Final
up the
Fight. I don't know, it was
Nick
just a
hasn't
guess,
won yet
to be
this year.
honest.
My God.
No, I haven't yet. Plenty of time.
Has
Like
nobody in
49
chat gotten
weeks
this?
to go.
It's not Final
I'm gonna move my buzzer
Concluding
now so that I can
catastrophe.
actually see the chat.
Because at first I was going to say Final Fantasy, but a fantasy is not a catastrophe. 96. Concluding catastrophe.
I almost said the answer, Nick. If you heard my answer, I almost said it.
You said Final Fight.
Uh-huh.
Final... I don't know. Catastrophe. Final disaster. Final... I don't know. Because a fantasy is not a catastrophe.
It's Final Doom. Final Doom.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That one was a little, not the biggest game.
Because is Final Doom its own game? I thought it was like a mod or something, or an
it had
add-on.
It got a
to
release.
levels.
Then I was never going to get that one.
All right, the next one. Buzzers are cleared, right? Yes, they are. The next one is Sepulcher Stealer. Sepulcher Stealer.
How does that spell?
SEPULCHER.
It's a sepulcher.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a sepulcher is.
I allow you to look up the word sepulcher.
Okay.
The
But
two-
that will give it
Ooh,
away.
we
Because then
speak
one of the
real
words
English.
will come up. But then the words will come up.
What
Yeah,
is
probably won't.
sepulture?
If it was earlier in the game, I wouldn't allow it.
Define sepulture.
What?
No, it's trying to get me to define support.
How about this? It's a small room or
basically
monument cut into rock
It's
or built
basically
of
a
stone.
grave.
Yeah.
It's basically a grave.
Second mechanic.
Easy.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically a grave. Yes.
Yeah.
And you're the guys,
As soon as I
we
saw
speak
that,
the
I'm
right
like-
English here. You don't even know your own.
Oh.
Ah! Nick's dead.
My phone again.
Your phone break? It's not even on
remember
anymore.
me saying, like, don't use your phone. Things
I
can
think
go
his phone
wrong.
camera might have broken. It's just black.
No.
Oh, it's back.
It just fell. Oh, it fell. And I don't know what I'm going to do now. Because
Swap to your laptop camera.
this totally broke. The thing that I use to actually hold my phone up broke.
Swap to your
wow.
laptop camera.
I can't because my laptop's over there.
Oh, that's right.
So I can't.
Go
I'm
get
gonna
it.
have to-
Go get the Xbox Series X and put it behind.
In case you're under the illusion that we're a professional outfit.
Oh, I gotta clear the buzzer. Buzzing's fun. If anyone's wondering, we are using buzzin.live, which I had thought about before, and I swap over to desktop audio so you guys can hear the buzz. I don't have the XLR to do all the cool shit. That's something we could. If we had everyone here sign up for our Patreon, we'd be able to get me a Go XLR, and I could have everything running through. We could all have better mics. And we could have actual cameras and actual mounts. Patreon.com/XboxEra. We don't have any money, even though we make it look like we do, because we're very talented.
I'll lift my chair. Wait. I don't know how to lift my chair.
This is fucking hilarious.
I don't know how to lift my chair.
Honestly, I'm
Right,
using
I'm
a
just
lovely
gonna
Brio 4K camera. It's lovely.
We got two more.
But I like the...
Two more. Next one is Expire Firm Trifecta. Expire Firm Trifecta. There's a hint I can give later on. If you don't get it, that will probably make it work.
Expire.
Firm trifecta.
How about this? This is multiple games in one. It is not
Oh, yes. Wait,
Nicka Mechanico.
was this on Sega Saturn?
I think so.
Die Hard Trilogy?
Correct.
Yeah.
I played that on PlayStation. It had the light gun game for Die
I
Hard
remember it
2.
on Saturn. I had a Sega Saturn back then, and I remember it being on Saturn.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
I'm wrong.
first Die Hard one was like a third-person action-adventure brawler.
Mhm.
Die Hard 2 was a light gun game, and Die Hard 3 was Crazy Taxi.
Salva got it in chat. All right, last one is pretty goddamn long. Holy shit. You probably won't get this one. It made me laugh a lot, so we're doing it. But let me clear the buzzer, and bam. Icor Harbinger, Endowment of Payment in Kind. Payment in kind is one word. Payment in kind is the really hard one. It's someone's name. It's really hard to find a synonym for name, so you look up what the name means. No one's going to know that, so just focus on the earlier things, probably. Icor Harbinger. Endowment of Payment in Kind, which stands for a name. I believe this was a PlayStation game. It spawned offshoot. What the hell do you call it? Spin-off. An offshoot that people love. That was on the Dreamcast. I won't say anything else. Is anyone in chat going to get this?
I have no idea. Complete drawing.
What is
blank
Icor?
here. It's like a thick,
I just looked
gloopy
it up.
liquid, right?
Yeah.
That's cheating. That's
Well,
cheating. He did
I
not
looked up
permit the
Icor.
Googling. It's cheating. Did not permit the Googling of Icor.
Wow,
It's
no
like
one
a
in
thick,
chat, I
gloopy.
got you all.
Yeah.
Icor Harbinger. What is Harbinger?
96.
I'll put it. I also think this game sucks. But the game it spun off was very fun at the time, but doesn't hold up at all. And that's why people want a remake of it so bad.
Oh, wait. Shit.
Nika Mechanico.
Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain.
Correct. You got it. Holy shit. You win that. That one was so hard that I'm just giving you the win.
Good.
I'm kidding.
I deserve it for that one.
But hey, there you go. No one in chat got that. Well, you had a Soul Reaver Legacy of Kain, but now Adam Sears has drummed in late to say it. But yeah, that is correct. That was Blood Omen.
I think Scourge meant Blood Omen.
Probably. But yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That is the
I
name of the game.
I actually
GGs.
remember that game.
Congratulations to whoever won. I forgot their name.
Top one.
Oh, Top. A
wins
wonderful
game.
man who gave us a ton of money for charity.
But I thought
last
I'd
year.
get the win.
I was
because
lying.
of
I just
Blood
wanted to make.
Omen.
I wanted to make you feel good.
I can't believe my holder thing just broke. It literally broke.
That's
That's
how
a
big and
shame.
fat your iPhone is.
Never mind.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go out and
GGs.
buy a new one.
GGs.
Three in
but
a
yes, we
row
hope.
for Sik and
I know,
Nick.
man. I'm on fire. Team Sick. Thank you, Jesse, as always. Chat, don't forget to hit that like button. We really, really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed Name a Game and you want the chance for either Nick or, if you want a good chance, me to win you a game, you just simply have to be a member of our Patreon, which you can do by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra, and you can sign up for as little as $1 a month or as much as I think it's like 30, but 30 gets you like t-shirts and mugs and stickers and all kinds of cool stuff and a badge on the forums. It's very nifty. It's lovely. So please feel free. Your support means a lot to us. And one of the perks is you get to ask us a community question in the forums in your exclusive Patreon lounge, which I think we're going to read through today. There's not too many.
Yes,
Most
there
of them are
is.
relatively short.
There's a lot of them.
There's not
John-
loads of really, really
John,
lengthy
there are
ones.
12 of them.
Yeah, but they're not like 5 billion
but
pages.
3 words can get Nick to talk for an hour, so.
That's true. I'll keep. I'll do my best. We'll see what we can do.
And if you want to make us go even longer, just keep sending in super chats.
That's true.
No,
That does keep us on the air. Oh,
Hey!
Jason there with a 30.99 super
And
chat.
Jason just did that. Nick, how many super chats do you need to show that unredacted image? In all seriousness, did you actually talk about the developer direct? Well, we talked about
We talked about it last week, but there's nothing new to say outside of that it's next week. We'll be doing a live stream.
Well, it is funny because our thing
I
this week
know.
is literally about the developer direct, where the point is to expect the expected. Expect the 4 things that they have announced, and anything else will be extra.
That's a
But we
good.
spoke about that last week.
Yeah. But he's right.
think-
We should
I
probably
think.
mention it. I think there's some community questions that touch on it a little bit, but a lot of it's focusing on, well, all the negative stuff, really, isn't it? That's human beings
Yeah.
for you. But yeah, good point, Jason. Well made.
Yes. Yes. Hytham G.
Okay, I'll buckle up.
Here's our first 8 questions. Go ahead.
What do you gents think of the counterparts of UNSC and the Covenant / the Banished of both sides, like in the inclusion of the Halo series as a whole, when you guys see in the bottom?
Ooh. Ooh, I know. I like
What's that? I don't know what that question is.
Well, what do you think when you see in the bottom?
I don't know what I think when I see in the bottom. What am I seeing in the bottom?
If I'm going to take this, because he talks about ODST, Flame Troopers, Spartan counterparts, Elites, Brutes, Cyclops, all the different things. If you think about it from like an RTS perspective, you know, all of those counterparts. So what's the counterpart for an ODST to... Is it a Spartan? Or is it an Elite? No, because it's, you know, Spartans are the Elite counterparts.
Well, let me continue the question. ODST Flame Troopers, Cryo Troopers, and UNSC Marines counterparts, Grunts, Jackals, Drones, and Skimmers. Spartans counterparts, the Elites and Brutes. Cyclops, Mantis counterparts, Hunters, Goliaths, and Crushers. What do you guys think of the units' counterparts? P.S. When it comes to the Slipstream engine for Halo Infinite, is 343 trying to give Halo Infinite a massive update with a new engine from Unreal Engine 5? And did Overwatch went through different engines when it got a massive update when it became Overwatch 2?
Well, if you think about Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, they did a really good job of expanding the lore of the UNSC to have counterparts to all of the Covenant stuff. So, yeah, I'd love to see that expanded more on in the first-person games, but will I ever get that wish? Probably not. Certainly not in the next 4 to 5 years, maybe. But yeah, Slipstream engine for Halo 3. Yeah, it is a thing. The tools are there. The engine is done. There's lots of things that will always get improvement. I'm not sure about the whole Unreal Engine stuff. Maybe that will be Tatanka. We talked about that earlier in the show. Jesse, you know Overwatch better than anyone else. Is it on its own engine? Is it on Unreal? Is it?
I don't remember the name of it, but it definitely did get an upgrade between 1 and 2. Looks real pretty. They did a lot of changes for the upcoming PvE stuff, more destructible environments, bigger areas, and whatnot. I don't know if it's like an in-house one. I've never heard it be on Unreal. Also, I'm wondering who the heck went back to our old videos and put in timestamps. I need to tell them thank you.
I did.
You should do it on all of them now. It's inconsistent. There's friggin' timestamps on my Halo Wars 2 review.
I'm slowly gonna keep going through the old episodes and cleaning up.
Not episode. This is a review. Someone did timestamps on.
Oh, I haven't done that. No, that wasn't me.
I have no idea.
I've been doing the podcast episodes because John used to do our timestamps because of the way we did the show. John used to do them as we went. Timestamps. Yeah, but we also weren't live. So we'd do the show, put it together, and then upload it, and John would put timestamps, but they weren't very good. So now we have my very good timestamps.
I'm not fussy enough to make them good, is the answer.
Yeah, doesn't care enough. Okay. Next question is Topp. Hello. My arm's getting sore. Recently, I've struggled to find any games that I've been able to enjoy. I've bounced off the likes of Hellblade, Halo Infinite, Pentiment, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So my question to you is, what game should I try next? Games that I have enjoyed more recently are LA Noire and Yes, Your Grace. Try High on Life. That's a good game. I don't know if you've played it or not.
It's not popular anymore. Not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, most people don't. Most people still play. They don't care. They have no idea.
I know.
I mean, it doesn't change the experience we had with the game.
No, I know it doesn't. But
yeah, you know,
what should I try next? I loved LA Noire.
I never played it.
I love a good detective story, murder mystery type thing.
Persona 4 Golden. You love the
bounced off of Hellblade, Halo, Pentiment, and Red Dead Redemption. I think High on Life is a good shout in terms of it's short, sweet, does exactly what it says on the tin. I would try get a friend and try Escape Academy. And Vampire Survivors, dude. Like, if you haven't tried that yet, good lord, what an incredible game that is. Yeah, there you go. There's my recommendation.
Replay the entire Gears series like me. It's great. We need more Gears. I don't want it to change. It's awesome. Shut up, Nick.
I sense Proven's question, which I sense some sarcasm from Proven on this question.
Okay, Proven. Hello, mates. Do you think Xbox needs a flagship IP with Game Pass? Is Game Pass the flagship IP? If you think Xbox does need a game to be a flagship IP, which franchise do you think it will be if it isn't still Halo? Many people have said Starfield, but I'm not sure that's possible unless Bethesda Game Studios can figure out how to release sequels at a faster cadence. Yeah, I mean, Starfield, we don't even know if Starfield's actually going to be a great game. Many assume and many have faith in Bethesda, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I don't think anything Microsoft puts out in the future could ever truly be the flagship that Halo was/is. Mainly because of that circumstance of what Halo was at the time that it was. Like, it was the game that made... Yes, I understand GoldenEye was the first big console first-person shooter, but that was also an uncontrollable... thanks to the Nintendo 64 controller, that... Like, Halo is the first-person shooter... Even though it technically wasn't the first-person shooter with dual analog controls, technically...
Wasn't that an Aliens Predator
There was
game?
an Alien game on PlayStation.
And the reviewers were like, who'd put controls on two opposite sticks, one for look and one for move? Mental. Oh,
Yeah.
How wrong they were.
So even though Halo wasn't the first one to do it, it was the one that made it big on console, that made first-person shooters. Everyone was like, oh, okay, so this is how you do a first-person shooter on console. It was also the game that established Xbox as a brand. Like, Xbox would not exist today were it not for Halo. So I don't know if anything can ever take its place, really. I don't think. And you might say, oh, but look at Nintendo. It's still Mario. 35 years later, and it's still Mario. And you might say, oh, but look at Sony. For Sony, it's changed. Because Sony never had one.
They borrowed Crash from Activision.
What did Sony have? Crash was technically never theirs. Kratos was big for a little bit and then disappeared and then has come back. Then there was Drake, but Drake got overtaken by Joel. And then Sony never had one and doesn't have one. So it's easy for a new one to emerge because it's not really replacing anything per se, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
PlayStation doesn't have a mascot that's been there from day dot in 95 and persisted all the way through. So it's just not quite the same thing. But if you look at Nintendo, it's still Mario. 35 years later, yes, Zelda is big. Yes, Metroid came. Yes, Animal Crossing's huge. Yes, but it's still ultimately Mario. And
AKA
to me,
Chris
it'll
Pratt.
be AKA the Bagoo. So for Microsoft, for me, it'll still be Halo regardless.
Yeah,
I don't think anything.
I think Game Pass is a delivery method, right? It's not the flagship IP. Game Pass is the delivery method. It's the water cooler subscription. It's the frequent beat. But you subscribe to the delivery method because of the flagship IPs, because of the games, right? Otherwise, what's the point? You got to have good games to sell the subscription. So, Halo feels very fragile at the moment. Obviously, the news this week is very rough. It's not a secret that 343 have had real struggles throughout COVID, throughout development of Infinite. We've heard all of the troubles they had during the development of Halo 5. You know, either someone has pulled the plug and gone, right, you know, and then let's start again and let's go small and agile and grow again until we're ready to run it at full pace. I don't know. But I don't think Halo's going anywhere. But a lot of people have said, Halo can bugger off. And I think those times of Halo being an event, like I remember Halo 3, I went to the Waterloo BFI IMAX in London. I got to meet the Bungie guys. They came and did like a presentation, and we were playing it on the massive screen in the IMAX. It was incredible. And everyone got a free copy. It was awesome. That kind of stuff just doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't feel like this massive media event like Halo 2 and Halo 3 did.
It happens inside Fortnite whenever they launch a new season.
That's the new version of it, isn't it? That's the new digital era version of it, right? So yeah, I don't know, but I will also say that every gen there's always a game that comes along and takes over and spawns a bunch of clones. Fortnite did it last gen. Something will do it this gen. All right, something is in development right now that's going to make everyone go, "Whoa, what is this?" And then
it wasn't Fortnite, PUBG.
Yeah, well, Fortnite, PUBG started it, but Fortnite had more.
PUBG's bigger, way bigger globally than Fortnite.
I know. But yes, there you go. I'm so glad Rand's watching right now.
He's got a super chat.
Let's get that super chat. Like Nick, while you're busy fixing that, there's a super chat from Rand.
For this episode of Xbox Era, I give John and Jesse 9 nicks out of 10, and I give Nick 2 nicks out of 10. Oh, you're so funny, Rand.
You didn't say it was wrong.
Here I am working on scoops live on the air and photoshopping and, 2 out of 10. What did I do?
Had someone send you a DM?
That's right. Someone sent me a DM.
Anyway,
I banged on the table and knocked the phone down. The phone is sitting like on top of the computer monitor right now, slightly leaning back against the thing that was holding the phone. I can't believe it broke. That has to have a warranty on it. I got to go take that back.
I doubt it. But yeah, next question.
Okay. The Ash Cohen 09. If you were to move Halo away from 343 and move them to another Microsoft/Bethesda studio, which studio would it be? Ooh. I know everyone says id, but I know that's the go-to that everyone's like, id, straight away, id. I want to try something a little more left field than id.
Tango Gameworks.
Not that left field.
Roundhouse. I want the team that made The Quiet Man making Halo.
No. Oh, no, they're under Activision. they don't own Activision yet. I was going to say someone else, but they don't own Activision. Who made... Wait. Who made Brink?
Splash Damage. They're now owned by Embracer, I think.
Brink?
Yeah, Splash Damage.
Really?
Yeah. I got that game. It had a LAN on launch day. It sucked.
Oh, yeah, Splash Damage. id Tech 4. It was published by Bethesda.
Yeah.
So, no, there was a game... There was a game that was made by... Who was it? Who was it?
I don't know, but if you don't answer, the answer no longer stands and we move on to the next question.
No. There was... What was the game they made? Oh, yeah. They worked on Brink. Human Head, which are Roundhouse.
Yeah, they're dead.
They worked on Brink. And they also worked on Prey. The 360 Prey.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
And they made that's literally who I just said. That was my joke answer.
I know. And I couldn't remember if it was them or not. I know. So Roundhouse.
Yeah. Yes, I was correct.
When they're not doing that other thing that I heard they might be doing. They can do Halo.
The next question from Mort.
Mort, hello there. When will we hear something about the Gears of War collection? Any more info on what it will include? Also, when is Gears of War 6 coming?
Please see earlier in the show.
Well, Mort, if you were watching, I gave you something very special. If it's real, I gave you something very special. I honestly do not know when we'll hear something about the Gears of War collection. I legitimately don't know. I do know other stuff about the Gears collection that I'm not allowed to say yet. But yeah. I'm not going to... Yeah. Whatever, Rand. I'm waiting for that public apology the day that the Gears collection gets announced. From you and Jez. And maybe a few others. But
I put the
like
picture back up so
it.
people know what we're talking about.
Like those others are going to actually apologize. But anyway. Next question. Omen. Hi all. I'm sure you have all discussed the best studios to give Halo single-player campaigns to. Crytek, obviously. But my question is this. What is your nightmare scenario on where Xbox could outsource Halo development to? Konami is my choice. Get ready for Halo pachinko machines.
Any one of
Nightmare
the
scenario.
King teams and turn it into a mobile game.
Yeah, but that's... Like, I'm assuming he's not talking about, like, full-on silly suggestions. My assumption is nightmare realistic suggestions.
Infinity Ward.
No, that's not bad. That's not that bad.
Well, I don't think it would play like the Halo that I like, mate. That would be my nightmare.
My nightmare would be anyone besides 343, pretty much.
Nightmare. Guerrilla Games.
Yeah.
But in terms of a studio not Microsoft's, what about Respawn?
Oh, Respawn could do a great job.
They could do a good Halo in terms of a non-Microsoft studio. Be a good one.
Oh, From Software.
Can you imagine? God, that'd be the worst game ever. Dio game. Hi, everyone. Honestly, I just want to talk about them Nintendies nuts. Hey, got him this week. Anyone else picking up Fire Emblem? No. I did twice, despite my trepidations. That's how you spell trepidations, I don't think. While I may be a bot, my heart is that of a drone, as I buy Nintendo systems in large part to play Fire Emblem. I wasn't even impressed by the trailers for this. Still bought the special edition. Are there any games you buy, no questions asked? And are you picking up Fire Emblem? P.S. Remind me to never give a Lifetime Achievement Award acceptance speech at the New York Games Critics Awards. Every word will be stretched longer than Stretch Armstrong. I will not be picking up Fire Emblem. I'm not a JRPG guy.
There's a lot of boobs in this game that I put up one clip and it's just nothing but ladies with big boobs.
Really?
Yeah.
But I thought Nintendo was all about the children. Nintendo's all about the children. So they
all
don't
the hentai
count
games on the eShop.
when it comes to ABK, because they're all about the children. Games that I buy regardless. Well, I mean, Zelda, Halo, yeah, they're probably the two main ones.
Halo for me, definitely. And I'd probably be willing to give anything by Rare a shot.
Yeah. Because even Mario, like I didn't buy Sunshine. Sunshine, I think, was the only one I skipped because it just looked stupid. And it turns out it was.
Not according to Metacritic. That game has a 92% on Metacritic.
I can't believe that game is a 92 on Metacritic, Super Mario Sunshine. Like, how is that possible? That game is so bad. Like, it's not just a bad Mario game, which it is. It's just a bad game. Like, it controls crap. It's just...
All those hundreds.
Oh, my God.
So many perfect scores. Wow.
Jesus. God. It is, like, comfortably the worst 3D Mario. Like, by the length of the Nullarbor. Just like... That's the worst. Super Mario Odyssey, on the other hand,
It's all right.
literal perfection.
Not a thing.
Okay. Cade Forever. Wow. Look at this. Holy shit. Hey, pals. So, Oni has officially axed the Spartan program on 343, allegedly, according to Jez and Schreier. and they will no longer be making Halo campaigns. Would you be upset if I said that this is a good thing? Not that innocent employees lost their jobs, or that I'm one of these crazy people screaming from the heavens that 343 finally got their hands off Halo, but that I think Halo might finally get what it needed for a while. A good long hiatus. I know I've already upset people with those first few sentences, and I'm sure Jesse is tempted to slowly and hysterically drag his mouse across the computer screen onto my username and accidentally click the ban button. I say this not to put people down or to discourage anyone who really wants more Halo, but rather as someone who really does care about the IP. This franchise has become so divisive for fans with constant outrage, anger, and almost maniacal levels of hatred, not only for 343 and Microsoft, but with each other, that I think it has zapped the fun out of the Halo brand for a lot of people. And many of the arguments that fans have can never be as simple as agreeing to disagree. It always ends up the same way. I'm right, you're wrong, die. You may as well label Halo the video game version of Star Wars. It kind of got labeled that way back in the day. I think it would be best not only for the IP, but also best for Microsoft to allow Halo to reset and focus all their energy on other games coming from Xbox Game Studios. And then at some point down the line, give Halo to someone else and have them try again. Perhaps certain affinity after they have released their new game. Halo is a brand that can never die. It can only go missing in action. Edit. Well, the statement came out and they're still making the games apparently. Or license them. That wasn't a question, was it?
It wasn't. He said, would we be upset if he thinks it's a good thing, right? And I'm like, the only thing I really have to say is how long a hiatus is necessary. I had to wait 6 years for a new Halo game. That's not a short amount of time. My daughter didn't
That's a
exist.
console generation. That's a console generation.
My daughter didn't exist, right? And Halo Infinite took longer to create than she did. She's 5, right? So, do you know what I mean? That's a long time. Every 6 years is fine. Define hiatus. You want it to go away for a decade? You saying that I should be nearing 50 before I can play a Halo game again? No, I'm all right. I'm okay. I think 5 years, normal time. It's never going to happen, right? A hiatus. Any IP that sells a certain number or does well enough is always going to get more content, more games. It's just a fact.
6 years, right? 6 years. If that 6 years of development is smooth sailing and ends up with a great Halo game, 6 years kind of is a hiatus for a major first party IP/franchise. 6 years is a hiatus. The reason this didn't feel like a hiatus and it didn't feel like Halo was gone long was because we kept hearing the rumors about troubled development and we kept hearing about problems. And then all of a sudden they showed 2020 and it looked like crap. And then all of a sudden it got delayed. And then that's why I think this didn't feel like Halo was gone for a long time. 6 years is actually a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
There hasn't been 6 years between Uncharted games, and there hasn't been 6 years, although we just did now. Oh, no, we didn't, because we got Lost Legacy. We haven't got 6 years between other major franchises recently, although there are exceptions to that rule, aren't there? Like Red Dead, GTA, Grand Theft. But look at what Grand Theft Auto's been doing in between. They've released 75 times. Grand Theft Auto 360, Grand Theft Auto Xbox One, Grand Theft Auto Series X, Grand Theft Auto Online, Grand Theft Auto freaking so they have been doing stuff. They just haven't had Grand Theft Auto 6. But 6 years is a decent gap. It's a decent gap. And if everything is going smoothly, you'll feel that 6 years because it'll feel like it's been gone for so long. But yeah. But no, what you said is fine. That you are entitled to your opinion. And you shouldn't be attacked for it. Debate is fine, but you shouldn't be attacked for it.
Unless it's really stupid.
Okay. No, not even then. Good old Collingwood. Happy Lunar New Year, John, Nick, and Jesse. Microsoft is looking to invest a great deal of money into ChatGPT. What do you know of ChatGPT, and of what you know of it, how do you think it could be used for gaming? Hopefully, it can be used to code a better Halo game.
Well, Microsoft are investing a huge chunk of money. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
CNET was recently caught out. There was always a disclaimer there, but it was never particularly obvious. But they were writing entire articles that had been written by an AI and then merely looked over by a human being to make sure that they were accurate enough to publish. Right? Like it's automation of tasks. And could it be used in gaming? Yeah, could you program NPCs and give them a backstory and they could just come up with stuff depending upon your interaction? I honestly, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to, really comment on it. But it's interesting tech. Is it going to replace humans telling stories? No. But for information, yeah, it could be useful. It's about all I can really say. I don't think there's much more use for gaming. It's not going to write an enthralling story, Like,
could it be used to solve? Could it be used to fix coding issues, like
No.
smaller segmented coding things,
This
like
is-
to clean up code? Maybe.
I don't think
know.
so. But I think this is more using everything it learns from the internet to answer questions.
Not on the
and
internet
talk about
for
topics.
ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not allowed to be on the internet. It is
Oh,
completely
wow.
off, and they feed it info. ChatGPT 3 had think of a ball, like a baseball worth of info fed into it,
And that
and ChatGPT
10
4 is going to have 10,000 baseballs worth of info fed into it. So it gives us this learning model,
interesting.
and it actually hits, and it's happening with the AI art. You are using other people's stuff to create a system, and that will hit for copyright issues. And right now there are 2 major lawsuits going with the AI art that just took. There's an AI art generator that I think it was Stable Diffusion, which built itself off of Getty Images, and quite often you get a Getty Images watermark in your Stable Diffusion stuff, and it's hilarious. So they're building up ChatGPT now off of unbelievable swaths of other people's work. So if you then try and make money off of that, does that become an issue in the future? Because it really is right now with the AI.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time this has happened in 3.5 years.
How is he still awake?
He had a bad dream.
Why is he still awake?
He had a bad dream. This is my mini-me, as you can probably tell. The entire world can see. Look, this is all the chat.
There's
So you can
40
say hello,
million
but very
people watching.
quietly. All right.
Hello.
Right. And on that note, this young man is going to go to bed. So say good
Yeah,
night,
man.
everybody.
It's like
Right.
2 a.m.
Go get into my bed. All right.
That's what I did already.
Well, go back in there then, you cheeky monkey. All right. I'll catch you later. Go,
Actually,
go.
Jason, that's a good one. Jason said in the chat, ChatGPT is a search engine play. Bing versus Google.
It is. That's the main reason they're going for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I never thought about that.
And Google engine
But
is
Jason's also
absolutely
much
terrible
smarter
now.
than I am.
Google's entire thing is
Sorry?
just almost nothing but ads now. The actual Google search engine sucks. It's real annoying.
Yeah,
to
it's
use.
terrible.
Really? I still think Bing.
is-
I still think Bing,
Bing
is
is so
worse.
much better. Bing is better.
You reckon?
Yeah, man. Honestly,
I don't agree.
if you want to go search for video. in Bing,
Unless you're
it's really
searching
easy.
for unless you turn off safe search and you search for web browsing, then
He knows.
Bing's real good. Bing's real good for that. Like Bing is off the charts
I don't know what you're
for
talking
web
about.
browsing.
Quick, change the subject.
We have 2 super chats.
Okay, anorexic. This is
no.
where I saw the thing I was mentioning earlier.
There's super
Anorexic's
chats. Do
question.
the super chats first.
Jason,
Oh my god.
boys, any news on the supposed revamped achievement system?
No.
No news. I had heard something about that happening, but don't know if it went anywhere
Not
or if
a
I was even meant to say
sausage.
that.
Not
I
a
hope-
sausage.
Yeah, I had heard some rumblings about them looking at the achievement system, maybe. I really hope I was okay to say that, but yeah, nothing official. Faisal, 1.75 speed later, finally caught up. Great show as always, lads. Thank you. Okay. NRX6 community question. This is the one I was talking about with thumbnails. That's where I saw it in community questions. Hello, gents. I appreciate XboxEra's no-nonsense and professional thumbnails for its YouTube videos, but a part of me wonders how an XboxEra clickbait thumbnail would look like. So I'm thinking I'll pose an entirely fake news item for you to all react to with an over-the-top reaction / pose, if you feel comfortable participating. With my limited photo editing skills, I'll post the resulting clickbait thumbnail on the forum in the podcast thread. Maybe everyone else in the forum can join in on the fun too. Fake topic to react to. Microsoft announces Blinks 2 at E3. Okay, maybe we have to do our reactions, our face reactions to that. So, Microsoft's at E3 and they say, Blinks 2. Oh, no, wouldn't it be Blinks 3?
Yeah, it would be Blinks 3.
There was a Blinks 2. So,
so
yes, Blinks 3 is announced at E3. that's my reaction. My reaction's like, gross.
I would literally be like, what the fuck?
We did one clickbaity thumbnail that I have a really low res picture.
Is
of.
it the googly eyes one?
Oh, it is the googly eyes one. There you go. That was our.
This was all I would allow.
Oh, that one.
That's as clickbaity as we get around here, folks. That is it. That's the level of clickbait.
And somehow I still look ridiculously good looking in that picture.
You got the most lopsided eyes of all, maybe. Well, maybe outside of Austin.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still incredibly good looking there.
Mine look like the nVIDIA AI has got hold of them.
Yeah, yours just look normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Second last question. Phalaxis, aka Mr. Scallop. Morning, amazing humans. Finally, the XboxEra podcast has hit 144 hertz and is joining PCMR. PC Master Race. Yeah, it took me a second to realize what that was. I had ASMR in my head, but then I'm like, no, it's not that. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. So there's been some debate about Starfield being only 30 FPS and potentially having or not having a 60 FPS option. As I mainly play on PC these days, I definitely prefer 60 and upwards. What are the panel's thoughts on this for Starfield? Could we see time later in the gen where games are more technical graphically, etc., that 30 FPS may be the only option? That would suck. I will always sacrifice graphics for 60 FPS and above. Look, if Starfield's only 30, that's just one other reason why I wouldn't play it. Among the other reasons I won't play it.
I think people need to brace for the fact that, yes, at some point towards the end of the gen, there will be developers graphically ambitious enough that won't give you a performance option.
No, then those
don't get me wrong,
would
it
be
sucks,
making a
and
mistake.
that's the point, as I always do in all gens, and especially now, and I live in this cross-play, cross-buy future, that I'll start playing more on PC towards the end of the gen.
I'm not doing it. If your game's 30, I ain't buying it. It's that simple for me.
Fair enough.
And it's not always.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
But don't get me wrong, mate.
I
dislike. I think there are okay 30 FPS, like Forza Horizon's 30 FPS is really good for what it is. But yes, it's not as nice as a smooth 60, no matter what game it is.
No.
And
What
with
genre?
Starfield is not just a graphical thing; it's all the systems that are going on all the time.
Exactly
It's a
right.
CPU
Yeah,
thing.
it's all about what's
Yeah, I know.
going on under the hood that determines
I know.
that frame rate. It's not
But
just graphics.
that's why at the start of every single generation, I keep saying, all I want is last gen graphics, but with full AA, 4K or 1080, whatever the resolution of the month is at that time, 60 plus, I'm happy with that. And then, or better lighting, and because lighting makes such a huge difference. Like, there was last gen had some great looking games. That's why we get them updated on the new hardware and they still look great.
How many Switch games are you playing at 60?
Super Mario Odyssey is 60. I will obviously, oh God, Tears of the Kingdom's going to be 30, isn't it?
Get wrecked.
Not going to buy it then, Nick, yeah? Hold you to your word, bro.
Oh,
Yeah,
No
but hold
shit.
on.
Limited
We're talking
edition
about
OLED.
we're talking about Xbox PS5 on Switch.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize there was a caveat to your goal.
Yeah, well, there's always caveats, aren't
I
there?
love it
Like,
when Nintendo shoves shit in my face.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nintendo has beaten their fans down for so many decades that they are just like, well, yeah, but it's Nintendo.
Like,
We're used to it being
it's
this
like
shitty.
the hardware can't handle it. Like, what are you supposed to do? Just never buy a game on Switch?
Yuzu on a nice PC, and you get your 4K 60 and everything.
Apparently, there's now a good Switch emulator on Mac. I may need to look into that.
Buy the games, feel fine, you feel good, you bought it, and then you just, you get it running on a PC, and it's actually enjoyable to play.
Yeah, I know. I've played. What did I play on a Steam Deck? I played on a Steam Deck. I played
Sifu?
someone. They had a Switch emulator running on Steam Deck.
It was a Yuzu. That one's supposed to be pretty good.
Maybe, I don't know. And it was good. Mario Odyssey looked good at 1080 60. It was nice.
I was playing Breath of the Wild at 2K 165, and that looked a lot better than it did when I played it on Switch.
Yeah, it would.
Get another super chat.
Okay, last question.
Your friend Jason will not stop sending super chats.
Yeah, I know, it's full on. I'll do that after, because we also should talk about that topic that he mentioned in the previous one. Skedaddle. Amid the sound of firecrackers, the year has come to an end. The spring wind has wafted warm breath to the Tusu wine. I don't drink. What's Tusu wine? While the rising sun shines over each day in every household, people get rid of the old couplets and put up the new ones. Wanganshi, New Year's Day.
Chinese New Year.
Anyway, sorry?
I'm guessing that was a Chinese New Year thing.
Yes, probably. Anyway, just wondering, do you guys have any memories of the Xbox 360 game Risen? Despite being backwards compatible, it is getting a re-release on Tuesday with a reworked UI across all platforms. I have not played
That's
Risen.
really funny.
Just,
you saw the email,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I was
we
just
got
I
the code.
recognize that name.
Yeah, we got the code
Did
for
we?
it a few days before launch, so we're not doing it. There's not enough time. It's a 60-hour game. But yeah, they're doing a remake, and they sent us a code. If maybe sometime we'll get to it.
Yeah,
I have not. I know of it, but I've never played it.
Looks real janky.
Oh, does it?
The original one wasn't it?
Mm.
I don't think we've looked at the new code yet.
No, yeah, I didn't even.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That's it for the community questions. Thank you all for sending those in.
Yeah.
Jason has another super chat. It is criminal this channel only has 16k subs. The cadence of content and consistency is impressive. Truly a staple for the Xbox community. Smash the like button, boys.
And girls.
Yes.
And sign
And
up on the
girls, yes.
Patreon. Now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
YouTube member.
We would love to be at 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Let's make it happen, yeah? That's the deal I'm making. Let's get that done.
Let's get there. I'll need to show more confidential images, maybe.
Yeah. But hey,
Off screen.
One more super chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we miss
Faisal.
Faisal's? Yeah.
We got the first one.
Just got a Steam Deck. Setting up emulators now. Now, yeah. Apparently, it's quite an emulation machine.
Oh, yeah.
The Steam Deck. So Jason, because it is actually our thumbnail and it is our title, yet we really didn't talk about it. Did we talk about it last week though?
A little bit.
Yeah. We talked about it last week. Like, we're going to see Redfall, Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, and something, the new expansion from ZeniMax Online Studios.
Yeah. I've always been saying that's where people should keep their expectations. Yes, they may do so, because we were having this debate in the Discord, and it's harder to debate properly in Discord because Jesse kept saying, oh, but technically. I agreed with what Jesse was saying. They may show more, but what I'm saying is, if you've told people we're going to deep dive into these 4, if you set a precedent where you're like, well, surprise, we have this thing, then you're then resetting your expectations where people are always then going to expect that at future shows. And I know that's idiots, and I know that's people who aren't, who should be more mature than that and understand that's not how it works. But that's also the reality. You're subverting your own expectations that you're trying to manage because you're suddenly chucking in a surprise, going, surprise,
But
here's this thing.
If they had said only, they said including. They never. There might only be these 4 things, but they did not.
Yeah, no, but people don't care about that.
But you can't.
I
worry
know
about
better
those
than
people.
most.
You can't.
I know better than most that that words can mean nothing. How many times have you heard me say, look, this is a rumor mill and it's super early and blah, 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 blah. Oh, speculation, maybe second half of December. Annapurna, we're not releasing Thingo in and that's Annapurna. And even they took my words and twisted them. And this is what I'm saying. We have learned as an outlet better than others, more than others, how words get twisted, how they get used and weaponized and all sorts of things. So that's why I'm saying, as a person watching this show, keep your expectations at Elder Scrolls, Motorsport, Legends, Redfall. And I think Microsoft should keep the show to those 4 things. So that way, going forward, when they set expectations, people won't get carried away. Where after what happened at the Game Awards, where they said nothing, probably to protect Jeff, and then they had nothing there, and then they said, we'll have more later, and then they've come out with a developer direct. It's not a showcase, it's not an Inside Xbox, it's not a E3, it's not anything. It's a developer direct where they're going to talk about, developers are going to talk about those 4 games. Keep it there. Don't chuck in a surprise. Don't chuck in a one more thing. Don't chuck in a... Because then later, when you try and set expectations, people are going to go, oh, yeah, right. Well, what's your one more thing? Let's all guess about what the one more thing... Like, it creates a... Look, again, it's them backing themselves into a corner, which they need to stop doing.
I think they're doing the
said
opposite.
what the 4 games are.
They haven't directly committed. They've not backed themselves into a corner. They've not said,
I know, but you're talking from the perspective of a normal person.
That's who you have to advertise
understands
to.
how
Normal
things...
people.
Yeah. No.
Can't
They
be scared. Can't be a little baby bitch.
They have to consider the non-normal people as well. And they have to. That's just the reality. Because some of those non-normal people have influence and are in the media. So you have to...
Doesn't matter what
you have to consider. Oh Jesus! You have to consider the non-normal people. You don't have a choice in the matter. You have to. I think they should just stick to those 4. As boring as many may find it, I'm not saying I'll find it boring, but as boring as many will find it, stick to the 4 games you've laid out and leave it at that.
I don't disagree, but I also think that there's no harm in chucking in a Game Pass, here's what you're playing for the rest of January, early February update.
Oh, look, a Game Pass drops is fine.
That's all I would expect on top of those 4. That's it.
And that's okay. That's perfectly fine under the and more banner. But I've already seen people on Twitter going, oh, the Gears collection? I'm like,
yeah, no.
No.
They're saving all their big guns. They've got
E3.
plenty of games right now
for E3
coming out before E3 is even here.
Having said all of that, how many people have you set up the stream for, Jesse?
Why? You're going to be there now? You're going to get up?
No, I'll probably watch it, but it's 7 a.m. I'll be like lying in bed just watching it on YouTube.
I have it set up for myself, Sik and Mechanico, in Soul Blazers.
Because if they do if they do the Game Pass drop, and GoldenEye is part of that Game Pass drop,
well, we'll expect you on.
I may try and jump in at that moment.
And then we'll find out, hey, I don't have 4 people set up. So
get very excited. But yes, don't expect, just temper expectations, as I always like to say.
Yeah.
Just expect nothing more than those 4 games.
And it's good comms, right? Last time they get criticised for no comms, they get criticised for overhyping. They have been very deliberate in everything that they have framed this as. And what's really nice to see is cohesive messaging and branding across the board. All 4 games. Yeah.
All 4 of them.
Really nice.
Bobril
Keep it
was
up.
a happy squirrel.
I bet he was. Yeah. I bet he was. So, yeah. Look, well, that's it. That's our show for this week. As Jesse mentioned, there's a lot of content coming to XboxEra.com this week. Jesse, give us some highlights off the top of your head.
Right now, I've been promised a code for Dead Space Remake, so you can expect a review for that when it hits closer to the end of the week. I am working on Shoulders of Giants. I can't say anything about it, but keep an eye out for that good game. And then in the future, we also have, good-looking game in the demo. Jesus Christ, I've got really weird one, Kingdom Rush, the mobile game from your phone.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, $10. It's Kingdom Rush. What can I say? Well, does it work well on a controller? Look and find out, and I'll tell you. We've also got like 25 things people are working on for the past 2 months that they might finally finish. I also might have Firefighting Simulator, which released last month, and I took it as a joke, and then it's actually way better than all the other simulator games I've been giving it to lately. So, yeah, probably at least 4 reviews from me. We're doing the co-stream on Wednesday. Oh, no. And we just got a super chat from Faisal.
Why, Faisal? It's 2 a.m. Give the man a break.
Here,
My son was in here earlier, all right?
He had a terrible dream, and it was
shit to
about
go and
Friends.
do.
He was like, oh, no, Daddy's going to make me watch Friends again.
If there was a Friends developer direct, which 4?
Which 4 of the best friends? Okay. I feel like we can... This is easy.
Chandler,
Yeah, Joey.
Monica.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
There's
tough
only one
between
answer.
Ross and Rachel.
It's Rachel.
I'd say Rachel because I love Jennifer Aniston, but
Yeah. It's Rachel. Phoebe and
Yeah.
Ross can go get in a bin, all right?
no, I still love Ross. I still love Ross, but because the
Phoebe,
problem
yeah.
is you can't have Chandler without Joey.
Joey.
Wow,
Yeah.
we lost 300 viewers that quick the moment this came out.
Faisal.
Oh, and I can shill more. We also are working on a review for SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake, Rhythm Sprout.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Potentially
Oh,
Age of
and-
Empires 2 DE. I don't know. See if we got it.
I don't know. I've asked.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything yet. What was I ever going to mention? Yeah, and we'll be back. That was your answer, Faisal. I'm not letting Nick go off on a wild tangent. We're also going to be co-streaming the Developer Direct live here on YouTube. Myself, Soulblazers, and Jesse will be streaming the show, reacting to everything that we see live. So if you want to come hang out and chat with us,
Hey,
join
I
us.
might have a rumor mill.
Oh, what? For when? For now?
fuck off.
All right, come on, hit it. Am I hitting the button?
Fuck off.
Haven't you seen me looking to the side here?
All right, am I hitting
I've
the button?
been- I've been in a Twitter DM. Haven't you seen me looking to the
Are you
side?
fucking kidding me?
Hold on, let me just ask him if I can do it as a rumor mill. Hold on.
This is too much.
So many people already left after the Friends thing. They'll be coming.
Yeah,
they'll be
people
crawling
started
back.
bailing as we
And
started
start
saying
tweeting.
goodbye.
Late Rumourmill. I put a
Is
link
it
in
an
the
article one, Nick?
What?
Is it an article?
chat. Article worthy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Hold
Nick's
on.
pretty stupid. He's not gonna know. I mean, Nick's a great guy. Don't say that about him.
Wait.
I put a link in the chat.
Hey,
That
last
is
time
the
last
link.
time I did this, we got the Gears image. Come on.
That's true. That fake Gears image. Okay. I put a link in the chat for where you can find us for that co-stream later in the week.
No, it's not Fortnite. I assure you, it's not Fortnite.
Is it something people will care about and they should stick around, Nick? Because we're down to 160. Okay.
Yes, it's something people will care about.
I don't have the sleeping cap. Shit, hold on.
I don't want it. I don't want the sleeping cap. I
You don't
don't
get
want
to
it.
control it. You have nothing to say.
Right.
It's me.
Okay,
My
fine.
show.
Then you asked for it. My eyes are going to be even more awake than usual.
Oh, if only I had something I could cover them with.
Okay. Okay. He said, yeah, he's like, they said, they're like, okay. Yeah, okay. Hit the button.
All right. I literally gotta make sure I'm on all the right stuff. Hold on one sec. And here we go.
Rumourmill. We've never heard that before. It's the Rumourmill. Things change, we can't be sure. It's the Rumourmill. You know they may not come true. The Xbox
XboxEra podcast is not responsible for websites presenting these rumors as facts.
You know, you could hear me then. I could.
Oh yeah, we're
you
still in
could hear me
desktop.
laughing.
Yeah, I forgot. Bam, now we're back on that.
God, lucky I didn't say anything bad because you could hear everything I was saying. So, I was on Twitter and I saw DMs on Twitter, and this person was telling me stuff because they were watching, and this person was telling me stuff. And they said, "Hey, I reckon John might be right about something he just said." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, really?
And then they mentioned some other stuff. I was like, "Wait, was that a known thing, what you just told me?" And they're like, "I don't think so." And I'm like, "Oh, can I rumor mill that?" They're like, "All right, just say this." I'm like, "Okay." So, rumor mill. Oh, wait, they're typing something in Discord. Maybe I shouldn't say something. Hold on.
Oh, the
They're
drama.
typing something in Discord. Hold on.
The drama.
Did I? Have I? Oh my God, my memory is so bad. This person's like, "You already leaked this first thing." I'm like, have I? I don't even remember doing that. Okay. So then I won't say the first one because apparently I've already leaked this.
You can say it
this
again.
first thing.
Just say
Can
what it
I? I forgot. If I
You can say it
so
again.
much now, I
Just
forget
come
what
on.
I even leaked now.
Come on.
Disgaea and Wise. Wise? Is it Wise? Is it pronounced Wise? That JRPG?
I don't know. No idea.
Disgaea and Wise are supposed to be coming to Xbox. I think it's
Yeah,
part of Game
I
Pass.
think you've said.
I remember
about
that, I think.
Disgaea, whatever it's called.
I have said Disgaea. Are you sure? I don't.
Pretty
why
sure,
Don't I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that. Why don't I remember that?
Who knows? What's the
But
other thing?
also the new one, I guess, is Wise. Am I allowed to say which Wise? Am I allowed to say the Wise that you just told me? Or can I
Is
not
he
say
watching?
that Wise? No, they're
This is
watching.
painful.
They're watching. Yes. Oh, good. Yes. So it's Wise 8, Lacrimosa of Dana.
What a
I don't know
stupid
what
name.
that game is. I don't know what that game is. Yeah, I have no idea what that game is. Let me look it up. It's on the Switch. Oh my
made
God,
some-
it's like
you
an
made
old
some,
game. It's like from 2016.
You made some
That's
Uwu
from-
fans real happy.
Yeah, I'm sure Six's Octavian will be happy. Yeah, but that I believe that's hopefully coming to Game Pass and like Xbox and in turn Game Pass. Wise 8.
He's fighting a
name,
lady in
Wise.
a towel.
Yeah, Wise 8.
Oh
So
shit!
is,
I gotta
is
leave.
that the Rumourmill?
Yep,
That's it.
that's it.
But what was
standing
the
there nude.
stuff I was right about?
Oh, maybe I might not. I'll mention that off here.
Okay.
I'll mention that off here.
Oh, please.
But yeah, so I guess again for those people that because everyone's always complaining about JRPGs and big name JRPGs coming to Xbox. Well, there you go. There's another one. Wise 8, Lacrimosa of Dana should be coming to Xbox, and,
I click into it and
hopefully
there's a
then
nude lady immediately.
and then hopefully Game Pass as well.
And
Oh,
on...
I can. Oh, sorry, John. I can say that.
oh,
John, spot on about. I think you might be right about the Game Pass stuff being at the Developer Direct.
yeah, I know. I'm right.
Reckon you might be right about after those 4
Well-
games getting talked about, then Game
The
Pass
ads for
stuff.
Game Pass
It's
continue.
43 minutes long, and they're really only going to talk about 3 of them because ESO has its own show directly after.
So maybe I jump on just before that if it happens, in case my game is there and I can get very excited live on YouTube.
Man, I already made all the scenes for 3 people. You mother.
Fine,
I can.
You can
I'm
be
kidding.
audio
I have
only.
scenes for 4. I have
Don't
scenes
worry
for
about
4.
it. Whatever.
Yeah, he actually can't be.
I
We
won't
can't-
jump on.
If someone hops in, it'll mess it up. But I'm kidding. I've made
Whatever.
the scenes
I
already.
won't jump on.
Thank God.
And on that note,
What?
ladies and gentlemen,
He's
friends,
sending me more stuff.
Oh my God. I wanna
What
go
is
to
that?
bed.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Let me Google that. What is that? I don't want to just say, like, I'm tired of saying stuff I don't know because then I just look like an idiot.
I mean,
What? That? What?
Tell your guy to DM me. I know things.
What is that?
Tell me.
No, I'm not saying that because then I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to look like an idiot, so I'm not saying that. Okay.
Next week.
Wise 8? Wise 8 is hopefully coming to Xbox.
There you go. Right.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. It's been a blast. Thank you, chat, for hanging out. As always, we'll see you guys for the live show, developer live stream on Wednesday, the 25th.
Yeah, and then next week, Tom Warren, 2 hours earlier.
9 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, 8, and that means 8 a.m. for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Much love, everybody. See you
Okay.
next time.
Ciao for now.